Hello and welcome to the stream. My name is Ade and I'm the veteran arcade soldier and I'm here for tonight's massive game, the first final of the European football calendar. We have SC Freiburg of the Bundesliga versus Aston Villa, who are sitting currently 5th place in the Premier League. No, sorry, 4th place in the Premier League. SC Freiburg are 7th in the Bundesliga. So I'm sure it's going to be a thrilling encounter. Lots on the line. And I've got a bit of a sore throat from doing all these watch-alongs. But I'm glad to be with you today. And yeah, I'm just preparing myself for the big match. So, I'm just going to get my chat panel up. And yep. How is it going? How's it going, guys? Hope it's well. Thank you for joining the stream. So yes, right. I'll have to take it a little bit easier today. Voice box is definitely hurting, so yeah. Do forgive me, so I'm a little bit quieter than normal. I have to keep the levels down. So just getting all ready and getting set up. So going to have a quick look at the team sheet shortly. So thank you guys for joining me. And yeah, we'll have a look at the team sheets early and see how both teams are lining up. Right, so the teams are as follows. SC Freiburg with their manager, Julian Schuster. They play a 4-2-3-1 system. Goalkeeper is Atabolu. Kubler, right back. Ginter, the veteran, at centre back. Lienhardt, his defensive centre back partner. True at left back. Eggestein, midfielder. Hoffler, German international, is partner in midfield. So on the right wing we have Best. Attacking central midfield we have Manzambi. We have their star player and their all-time leading goal scorer Vincenzo Grifo, the Italian veteran, in support of the striker Matanovic. So yes, of course, I'm more familiar with the Aston Villa team, with their all-conquering Europa League manager Unai Emery. I'm pretty sure he's won this competition 4 times and has been in the final at least 5 times, making this his 6th time in the final, I'm pretty sure. So Unai Emery is the manager. They play their 4-2-3-1 system. In goal, with a late injury scare, but still made it, is Emi Martinez. Oh, one moment, I have the door. Apologies, had to get the door there. An angry Amazon driver with another delivery. Right, back to the team sheet. So, in goal, Emi Martinez. Right back, Matty Cash. Ezri Konza and Pau Torres as a centre-back pairing. Luca Dean playing left-back. In midfield, the same midfield that played against Liverpool the other day is Victor Lindelof in midfield with Yuri Tillemans. And the front four is John McGinn playing off the right-hand side, but obviously tucked in a little bit more. Morgan Rogers, attacking midfielder. Emi Buendia, starting left winger, in support of Ollie Watkins. So those are your teams. Sorry for the slight delay in reading them out. And yeah, let's get back to the chat. So we've got a couple in, two of my regulars. So we've got Cam and Gary, having a little chat here, bigging each other up because they've won the Premier League. Fair play to you boys. Let me write that down. Fair play for winning the title, chaps. So players are out on the pitch warming up. The SC Freiburg team in a lovely red strip. I'm wondering if Aston Villa will be going with their white away kit, and it looks like they are. Yes, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a very interesting game. I'm putting my prediction in the chat now. My prediction for the game, not that I'm a Bundesliga expert by any means, but my prediction for the game is SC Freiburg 1, Aston Villa 3. So if anyone catches this back later as a watch along, please do drop a like on the stream. Please subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Right, so the game kicks off in 20 minutes. I'm just going to make sure everything is working okay. Where is the... Let's double check a open widget stream rate of 128. Stream settings. How is the volume? Let's have a look. Yeah, volume sounds fine on the stream, so all good. Right, so I'm just going to get myself prepared for the game. Feel free to drop your predictions for the game in the chats. Right, on that note, I'll be back in a moment. In the meantime, I'll leave the team sheets up on the screen and I'll be joining you shortly. Right, so I'm locked and loaded. Got the water and the fluids ready. Got to take it easy on the voice. Definitely struggling today. But yeah, it looks like a fantastic stadium. Not even sure where the final's been held today. Let me try and have a quick look. Find out where it is. In the Toprak Stadyumu. So it's in Turkey. So the game is in Turkey. Lovely stadium. Looks absolutely brilliant. Oh, so having a look in the chat. Oh, Natasha's joined. Lovely to see Natasha. Hope you're doing well today, my dear. Gary says, no idea about Freiburg, but probably Villa will get it done. Okay. So, and Natasha, like I said, lovely to see you. Hiya, how's things? Later slot and his merry men. The other three will be gone by Sunday after the game. Yes. What's the source, Natasha? Let me know. And when you say the other three, do you mean, obviously, Hughes, Hughes, Edwards, and who's the other one you're thinking? Is it another high up, or you mean like his assistant manager, or, well, I guess all the backroom staff will go, but yeah, I really hope that's the case, Natasha. It's just playing a waiting game, and I know you're definitely, obviously, you're very eager for it to happen, I can tell. I'm just trying to stay calm, you know why? Because if this man stays for another season, Natasha, I don't even know if I can follow us next season in the same light, because I can't take another year of slot football, seriously. But yeah, please let me know. And are you watching the Villa game with us today? And I hope your family as well. Let me respond. Yes, Gary, I know what you mean. You have all the gossip, Natasha. Respect. Natasha, yes. Natasha says yes. So hopefully the Nagelsmann will be announced and top signings. And yes, if Villa win, Bournemouth will be in the Champions League. Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? It's such a weird thing how the mathematics work, because if Villa finish fifth, as you say, then Bournemouth will get Champions League, which would be incredible. It'd be a really nice story, wouldn't it, to see Bournemouth in the Champions League? The thing is, though, I don't think it's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is I think we're going to finish fourth. I think we'll beat Brentford on Sunday. I think Villa will lose to Man City, Pep's final game, and then therefore I think it will happen. No, you're right. So what am I talking about? I think we'll finish fourth, Villa finish fifth, and win this. So yeah, Bournemouth Champions League, spot on. Yeah, exactly. If Villa win, yeah, Bournemouth, yeah, exactly. But imagine if Villa finish fourth, then Bournemouth won't get it, which seems crazy, but we don't make the rules. But yes, other predictions. So yeah, Natasha, you're saying if Villa win, do you think Villa will get it done today? Natasha says, do you think that Klopp will be at Liverpool's last game on Sunday? Do you know what? That is a really good question. I hope so. What I would say about Jurgen is that it seems like him and Salah weren't as chummy as we seemed. So I don't know. Sometimes with Jurgen, he doesn't like the limelight. I feel like he might be at Liverpool. But he might not go to the game. Do you know what I mean? He might be in Liverpool. He might go in and say his goodbyes and all that sort of stuff, or show respect. But he might not want to be at the game because he doesn't like all the attention being put on him. And you know what, Natasha? You know, I'd really love to know. I would love to know what he thinks of what Arne Slot's done to the team in the last 2 years. I'd love to know what Jurgen thinks. I really would. Cameron says Villa will edge this. I hear you. You think it'll be a close game, Cam? I think it's going to be... I don't know much about Freiburg, as I said. I know a little about the Bundesliga. I follow a few games here and there, but I'm just going with my prediction of 3-1 Villa. Right, and I will be back in 2 secs. I'll put the team sheets up on the screen. I'm on mute again. Didn't unmute it. Shocking. Yeah, I was just talking about Prince William saying, I know he's meant to be a Villa fan, but does he really follow the game? I feel like it's something he said 20 years ago, and he's doing a bit of an imposter job. But yeah. If you're still there, Natasha, do you think that Klopp will be their last game of the season? Let me know. Let's have a look at these teams again. it'd be interesting to see how, you know, the big occasion affects the players. This would be some of these players' very first ever final. First chance of some silverware as well. A little bit of experience in the in the Villa team. Emi Martinez is obviously a World Cup winner. Pau Torres, I'm not sure if he's in the squad for any of their successes, but you've also got Lindelof, who's won stuff with Man United. Ollie Watkins has played in a European Championships final for England. So a lot of experience there. But maybe not winning experience. But yes, it's going to be a very lively and interesting game, I feel. Yeah, it's just such an interesting scenario that if Aston Villa win this title today and finish 5th, then Bournemouth get Champions League, as Natasha mentioned. So I do believe Villa will finish 5th because I'm pretty sure they're going to lose against Man City on Sunday. Pep's last game, like I said. And I think Liverpool will win their final home game of the season, putting them in 4th, nudging Villa to 5th, and then allowing Bournemouth into the Champions League. Imagine Bournemouth in the Champions League. Absolutely incredible. Hello, Peter, my good man. How are you, sir? Are you good? Are you well? You hope Villa wins, but do you think Villa will win? I was saying earlier, before you jumped in, I know a fair bit about the Bundesliga, you know, but the top teams. Freiburg, I know they're currently 7th in the league, but I just feel that just the power level across Europe is very much slanted in the English team's favour. So a strong English team currently is usually stronger than every other opponent equivalent in their league, if that makes sense. So 5th place in 4th and 5th in England is stronger than 4th and 5th in Germany, obviously. So I'm expecting a 3-1 win for Villa. But feel free to put your prediction in the chat. Lovely looking stadium as well. Are you watching it or are you just tuning in with the follow along? Hopefully you keep us company. Always good to hear some more of your insights, etc. I do like the Freiburg kit. Lovely red kit. Europa League final, the first final of the European football calendar. So the lineups just one more time. We go with the English team. Martinez in goal. Matty Cash, Ezri Konsa, Pau Torres, Luca Dean, Victor Lindelof in midfield, Yuri Tielemans, John McGinn, Morgan Rogers, Emi Buendia, and Ollie Watkins up top. Can these Villa boys be the first Aston Villa team to win a trophy in 30 years? Their last victory was a League Cup in 1996. I can't remember who the manager was, and I can't even remember who they played, but 1996. I think it was Ron Atkinson, I think. Anyone in the chat know? Please let me know. I'm pretty sure it was Ron Atkinson won them the League Cup, maybe. That was definitely a test of the memory. I'm gonna quickly look that up. Manager of Villa, last time they won a cup. Tony Barton. When was the last time Aston Villa won a major trophy? Yeah, 96. Aston Villa. Manager of Aston Villa. Manager of Villa in 1996. Oh, Brian Little. And he got them to fourth. I remember Brian Little. Yeah, he was a young up-and-coming manager, and then he just fell off a cliff. Interesting. Yep, definitely a blast from the past there, Brian Little. Kind of just disappeared out of the game after a few disastrous seasons after winning a cup with Villa. So yes, interesting. So we're just about to kick off. And thank you once again for joining me. Game's about to kick off. Right. Peter says, I'll go 3-2 Villa. A good game. I'm listening on the radio. Big Ron was born in Liverpool. Was he really? I did not know that. Big Ron was born in Liverpool. So Peter, is a Big Ron actually he's a full-on Scouser, yeah? Interesting. So the game has kicked off. Where's the timer? There it is. Good stuff. Cameron says, all good, Villa to get it done. Yeah, loving the lovely red kit from Freiburg. So that must be their home kit. Flicker, ooh, good start. Yeah, brilliant atmosphere, it sounds like, in this Turkish stadium. I think the problem when you're trying to commentate and talk about the game is that when you don't know much about the opposition, it's a bit hard to say. Obviously, I know plenty about Villa, but it'd be nice to know a bit more about Freiburg, learn a bit more about them. I know their main player is Vincenzo Grifo, the Italian veteran. Plays left wing and forward sometimes, so pretty sure he's their all-time leading scorer, maybe. So Freiburg on the attack. Broken up really nicely. Good long ball there. Morgan Rogers. Oh! Dangerous shot from the edge of the box. Dipping and swerving. Nearly caught out the keeper straight away. Great start. All right, big kick out from Emi Martinez. Watkins lets it drop. He's in the box. Freiburg not even defending. What's going on? That's going to be a goal, surely. Oh, Ollie Watkins, great chance. Oh, why wait so long to put up an offside flag? Crazy. It was. Peter says he was just born there, left after 3 days. His mum was interested. Man, you are full of some absolute top knowledge. I did not know that. I'm trying to. I remember his voice now. He's kind of sounded like he had a bit of a Yorkshire kind of twang. Pretty sure he had obviously he ended up being a Birmingham manager at one point, and then he obviously had the scandal, didn't he, towards the end of his career. I quite like Big Ron. He was a good personality. Obviously got involved in that kind of racial incident, didn't he, with Desai. Yeah, so it happens. People get cancelled. But yeah, poor old Big Ron. Funnily enough, I did know somebody who they handled some accounts for him, and they said that even when he was, well, I know he's still alive, but even coming up to 70, he would go around his local town and be like, "Don't you know who I am? I'm Big Ron." And it's like, yeah, just random. So Aston Villa seem to have an early stronghold on the game. Nice turn by McGinn, who is dragged down by the Freiburg left back. I need to try and get familiar with some of the names. True. All right, Villa centre-backs playing it around. Tielemans in midfield, look to pick out some good passes. Ball kept in, dipped into the box. Ooh, cleared. Peter says his dad was from Birmingham, so he grew up there. Yes, Big Ron was a huge character. Yes, he certainly was. Birmingham. I'm pretty sure like nowadays he's by the West Midlands, because I knew someone that was used to live in the West Midlands, and they did some accountancy for him and whatnot, and they said that he was difficult, put it that way, or a little bit entitled, shall we say? But yeah, he was a good character in the game, and a good manager. He was kind of known for bringing through Cyril Regis, wasn't he? That was Ron Atkinson. Obviously, he was known for many things, but you know, bringing through Cyril Regis was a big thing. Oh, for Daly, yeah, yeah, he did have that kind of vibe to him, didn't he? Sheepskin coat and all that sort of stuff. So where's your thoughts on the slot situation, Peter? Are you confident like Natasha that he's definitely going to get the bullet? Or do you think we're lumbered with this man for another season? What do you think? I don't know how you said his name. True. Yellow card, the left back. I remember to Axon, he was manager of... Yes, he was manager of Man United. He won the FA Cup, didn't he? Hold on a minute. Yeah, he won the FA Cup in '85 with United, didn't he? They beat Everton. Everton 1-0 in '85, didn't they? So Kevin Moran. Was it Kevin Moran? Yeah, Kevin Moran, I think. Oh, sorry, Natasha, it was you saying that. You remember Axon, he was manager of United. Yes, sorry, I read it. That was Peter. It was you, Natasha. Well done. Top ball knowledge there, Natasha. Brilliant. But yes... yeah. Do you remember, Natasha, do you remember the scandal, though, with the racism? It was during one of the World Cups, I think maybe like 94, maybe 98 or something. He said something derogatory to Marcel Desailly regarding him being black, and then he was just cancelled from football from then. You didn't see him again. Natasha says, I see the games on TV on Sunday will be the 2 relegation games. Is that what it is, yeah? They're showing those 2 games. Yeah, it makes sense because there's nothing really else to play for, really. Obviously, there's our game, but you know, Bournemouth have to beat Forest away, and Liverpool need to lose 7-0. So obviously, we're through in the Champions League. But I was just saying to Peter Does he agree with you that Slot is definitely going to get the bullet? Unai Emery, this is his 5th or 6th Europa League final. He's definitely won it 4 times. Villa dominating this game. Zipping it around. Good shot. Ooh. Edge of the box for Morgan Rogers. But it's curling away from the goal. Right, Natasha said, no, I'll read Peter's first. So Peter says, I can't believe Arna's fall from grace, but I do have in mind he didn't choose the players we spent the 400 million on. He's got to go now. I think for the fans' mental health reasons. I think you're right. Honestly, you're right. There's a lot of people where Arne Slot staying in charge, it actually hurts their mental health. You're 100% correct. I know you said you're pretty chilled about football these days, but yeah, Arne Slot is causing a madness amongst a lot of fans. Natasha says, just think of all those years ago when football was not money orientated. The games were more enjoyable. I know what you mean. It's like the love of the game and whatnot. These guys were the footballers. They were well paid, but they weren't crazy like this. So you'd get players that would stop and have a chat with you, and all that sort of stuff. Just different times. I used to work in a bookmakers. I used to work for William Hill in the 90s, and in Caledonian Road near Holloway. And Charlie George, that scored the winning goal for Arsenal in the 71 Cup final, used to come and he was like, "You right, son? He nick me throw me an extra £5 or something, and I'll give him a good price on whatever horses he was betting on." And I remember him with his long hair, and he's like, he only had 4 fingers, and yeah, I was like thinking he must have lost his money in some gambling, but he was just a normal guy. Do you know what I mean? And he's won Arsenal with the league title and cup double, but he's just a normal person. Welcome to the chat slot. Welcome to the chat, Swerve. Slot in, yeah. Don't mind this guy. This is a Man United infiltrator. He wants a Arne Slot. He wants a 10-year Arne Slot contract, isn't it, Swerve? You're that guy. Natasha says Slot just does not get it. Him and his merry-men will make a sharp exit from the game on Sunday. I'm with you. I truly hope so. Pau Torres back to Martinez. Peter says, to Natasha, it's quite hard to fully support multi-millionaires. Yeah, it really is, Peter. In his response to Natasha's statement. So cleared by the Freiburg defenders. Freiburg just trying to get a hold of the ball. Aston Villa very strong. Aston Villa looked too strong, too quick, and too energetic for Freiburg. Swerve says, now that Slot has made Champions League, he is staying. If he dropped out, then maybe he would have been sacked. Swerve, you are definitely wrong, my man. Obviously, you follow your team closely, but us Liverpool fans, we know what we're watching, and there's a lot of the media are saying that Slot is going to stay. Honestly, I just can't see it. I just can't see it. Yes, Solo P, how you doing, my man? Good to see you in, mate. Thank you for joining me, guys. Really appreciate it. Can you please remember to drop a like on the stream? I'd really appreciate it. It all helps with this whole YouTube algorithm. So that little thumbs up button, just give it a click with your mouse. Much appreciated. Natasha says, do you think that Slot will do a press conference and what he will say? What do you mean, Natasha? If he's sacked? Is that what you mean? Or when he's sacked? Hey, how you doing, Arshed? How you doing, my man? Good to see you. W's in the chat. That's what we like. Swerve says, players played back then for the love of the game because they were fans. Not many players like that anymore. 100%, mate. But I think that's a lot of us on this channel. We're of a certain age, a certain vintage, And it's just different. We know what the times used to be like, but the younger generations, they don't get it. They just see the fast concept, the social media, the bling, the money, the prestige and all that sort of stuff. Players were players, just people back then. Swerve, I don't know how long you've been in it, but I was telling the chat I used to serve Charlie George in the betting shop I used to work in. This guy, he was about 60 at the time. This man won the double with Arsenal, scored the winning goal in an FA Cup final. He used to come in, nicking prices off me. He'd have bundles of cash in his hands, but he was still just a regular guy. Do you know what I mean? What a geezer he was, or is. Yeah, good to see you, Ash. Ash, I was asking you yesterday, obviously you're from India, so, welcome in the stream. You've came in nice and early, like you said, or earlier. What is your prediction for the final, and who is your team? Who do you follow, or do you just like the Premier League? All right, ball coming in from Freiburg, who've won a free kick right side. We're in the 15th minute. Ball played into the box, easily cleared by Aston Villa. Swerve says, so you reckon he getting sacked Sunday? I'm not sure he's going to get sacked directly on Sunday. I think there might be a little bit of a fallout afterwards. I think maybe within a week after the final game of the season. So by the end of May, I think he'll be gone. Ash, your team is Barca. Great team. If anything, Barcelona that's my second team. I do love me a bit of Barca. More than a club. Natasha says, soon be the World Cup, 4 games a day on TV. I know, it's amazing. We love it. Ash, is it still similar time? So hold on, in India right now, so you're 10, 11, 12. What is it, 1 a.m. in India right now, Ash? Wow, you are a dedicated fan. Yeah, 1 a.m. now. Wow, well done you. You're the man. So Swerve asks, who do you think is going to win this Europa League final? I know, Natasha, he's a hero. That's the thing. Imagine the dedication of these overseas fans getting up to watch games or staying up late to watch games. It's incredible, really. Freiburg's about to pump one into the box. What have Villa got? The line looks very organised. Edge of the 18-yard box. Beautiful cross fizzed in. Down. Oh! That's surely going to be a corner. Lovely volley. And looked like it deflected off a Villa player for a corner, but it's going for a goal kick. Arsh says, Villa will take it. We'll love an upset, though. I hear that, my man. I'll be real. I kind of like the English teams to win, depending on who that English team is. If it's Man United in a final, yeah, I don't want them winning anything. Arsenal versus PSG. Yeah, anyway, we'll see about how I feel on the day. At the moment, I'm leaning towards PSG. Aston Villa, I don't mind Aston Villa if they win it. But I don't want the Premier League to be too dominant in terms of the competitions. I don't think it's right. And here my take on this. Arsenal Premier League champs is crazy though. I know, I just can't see it. Sorry, Swerve, I'll mention your comment in a minute. What I don't like about the strength of the Premier League at the moment is that you've got a team like Nottingham Forest that easily gets to the Europa League semis. Crystal Palace is a middle of the road conference team, easily gets to the final. And then obviously, we're too dominant. We've got a team in every final, and that's not right. It should be more spread out. That's my issue with it. Swerve thinks Villa, and also Swerve's other comment was, mate, he has done better than Klopp in his first 2 seasons. Oh, come on, Merv. Look, you can't bring that. Statistically, what you've just said about Slot is correct, but look at the starting points. We've discussed what Klopp took over. the Liverpool team that Klopp took over was absolutely diabolical. The team that Slot took over, that was left behind by Jurgen Klopp, and the whole legacy and everything that's instilled in the club, the training ground, everything. He's left this man the keys to the city, and he's literally thrown them down the sewer. So using that statement is factually correct, but if you honestly believe that, then you're on a wind-up. I know you're on a wind-up. Damn, what channel are you on then? How could he be? That's impossible. Oh, it is as well. Right. I hear that, Peter. I hear that. That's obviously, it's time and a place, isn't it? Like, we were, for the last, prior to this season, you could always rely on us not to lose at least. But, yeah. That bougie HBO, yeah? Some of us don't earn that HBO money. CBS. I'm just going to see if I can find another, some more channels that are a little bit more closer. Because, yeah, 3 minutes is a bit too much. Fair enough, that's all right. I don't know how this man here is so far ahead, though. So sorry, Peter. What time have you got on your? I know you wouldn't see it on the radio, would you? Something I need to look into later. I can slightly adjust it, but I've reminded I'm 5 seconds behind you. Oh, you've rewinded. Oh, good man. But yeah, I do need to sort that though. So yeah, I'm literally, this is the exact time I'm on. So you roughly around this time then? And Swerve, is that a legit HBO, by the way? Nice long diagonal ball by Freiburg. Nodded down by Grifo. Decent play there from Freiburg. Freiburg seem to have settled into the game a bit now. Bit more control of the ball and the midfield. Ball played through, but Matanovic cannot get on the end of it. It's going to go through to an Aston Villa goal kick. Emi Martinez. All right, ball. John McGinn. Strong as an ox for a little man, that guy. Yeah, good point. Do you know something? You're right, Peter. It's true. Just 3 minutes is a bit much, though. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind if it's like a minute and a half or something like that. That's fair enough. Because at least that way, it can be enjoyable for people, etc. You don't want to be 3 minutes behind people, though. The World Cup should be a bit easier because it will be on BBC and ITV. So obviously, being real time, it'll be much better. But yeah, you're right. And if you do build up a community and you have your friends and your people that are with you, they kind of will sink in with you and try and stay with you, if that makes sense. But yeah, you are spot on, my good man. Atabolu. Never seen this keeper before in my life. Foul won by Lindelof. Yeah, what I was saying, Peter. Oh, we're waiting for this Aston Villa attack. Edge of the box, Mike Cash in the box. Nice outside of the boot flick, but not picked up by Morgan Rogers. He's harassing, trying to win a corner. Has he won one? No. Yeah, I was saying, Peter, I was watching a Redmen watch-along early in the season, and geez, their stream was like 4 minutes behind. It was crazy, and I thought, wow, that's Redmen. So, yeah, I guess you're right. People can be behind and whatnot. A lot of people just need to know what's happening now. But in my eyes, I'm like, live is kind of more or less, you know, a minute here or there isn't going to make any difference. You're going to find out regardless, right? It's not like you're finding out the next day. Freiburg advancing. Lienhardt on the ball. Being recycled nicely by Freiburg. They've definitely taken the sting out of Aston Villa's play, that's for sure. Cameron says, game is naff. Yeah, it's not the most thrilling yet. It definitely needs a goal, this game. 100%. Game definitely needs a goal. It needs an ejection of something anyway, put it that way. I always listen on the radio to live matches. It's less stressful. Is that for any game or just your team, as in Liverpool? To be fair, I do love the listen on the radio. I know Swerve in the chat, he loves listening on the radio, don't you, Swerve? I tell you what though, Peter, the only thing I don't like about the radio is that obviously they have to sell the game a bit more. And then some of the chances when they describe them and whatnot, and they're going crazy on the radio, and you see it in real life, and you're like, mate, that shot was like 15 yards wide, but on the radio, they made it look like it just skimmed past the post. It's like, come on, let's be a bit realistic here. Like, let's tell it how it actually is. Do you know what I mean? Freiburg advancing. Ooh. Well cut out by Emi Buendia. There was a through ball that was going to go through to Matanovic. Pau Torres bringing it out the back. Ezra Konza strides forward. No, it's Tielemans, sorry. Right, one back by Matanovic. Ooh. Good shot by Manzambi. But saved by Emi Martinez. I keep seeing these rumours about Alisson leaving Liverpool and Liverpool linked with bringing in Emi Martinez. A bit like how Man United were linked with Martinez last summer. That nearly happened. And before they got, Lemens. And I'm like, why would we get rid of Alisson and get Martinez? Just doesn't make any sense at all. Watkins cutting back, chopping back. That's going to be a corner, surely. Deflected off Watkins. Right, long, hopeful clearance by Freiburg. Ooh. Bad foul by Lindelof on Manzambi. Could have got Lindelof in trouble there, but the youngster looks like he's down in pain. Peter says, goalkeeper is the number one position in my book. Got to be world class. I know what you mean, mate. It's like no team ever wins anything without a top class keeper anyway. But usually world class, like you say. Many teams. I mean, it's one of those things where does everyone think we stand with Raya at the moment? Is he the best goalkeeper in Europe at the moment? People will say, you know, you're Courtois or maybe you're Alisson or whatever, but what David Raya has is he has the availability. He's available all the time. Alisson's not available. Courtois is often injured these days. These guys are getting older. Yeah, David Raya, he's pulled off some absolutely amazing saves this season. Being so consistent and being an ever-present, so you just can't knock it. But yeah, goalkeeper's massive. And this is what I'm a bit worried about for Liverpool. Because I think we spent all this money, Liverpool spent all this money on Georgi Marmadashvili. Let him stay on loan for Valencia for further development. He's come to the Prem and he's looking like this. It's like, wow. And I see like Lemens at Man United, who's 3 years younger and already looks better than Marmadashvili. I mean, what's going on with the scouting department? It's crazy. Right, Grifo, the veteran, their top man, taking a floater near the right side of the box. Villa breaking, Rodgers charging the ball down. Right, ball breaks to Rodgers. Put in. Buendia. Oh, McGinn, but it's blocked. Rodgers swings a left foot. Ball. What was that? Morgan Rodgers tries to take a swing and put the ball back in the box and just blazed it wide. Oh, McGinn. It would have been interesting to see what would have happened with that shot if it hadn't been blocked. McGinn. The ball cleared. Good block. Need a couple of goals either end this off. Yeah, definitely. Well, you never know. It could all just go out the window as soon as one goes in, so you never know. I went for 3-1 Villa, so I meant, how are you getting the HBO? Because I know you're a man that likes these, how shall we put it? These sticks that are on fire. I know you like these things. So, yeah. That's what an unlegit HBO is? So Ginter, the veteran. He's been around forever, Ginter. I remember buying Ginter on like FIFA 15. It's like, wow. Swerve says, I'd be on the same time as you then if my stick was on fire. You're a joker. How much are you paying for that HBO a month? I know you. Wow. That was a dangerous ball. Fizzed across the Aston Villa backline. That could easily have taken a touch and ended up getting blazing to the net. That's Manzambi, the youngster. Ah, I see. Yeah, I knew there had to be a reason. That makes sense. That makes total sense, Swerve. Not that I'm here trying to police anyone's choices in life and whatnot. But a bit like Drake would sing, I've got my eyes on you. Good hold-up play from John McGinn. How John McGinn has not been put into the contention for player of the season, considering that he's been excellent this season, John McGinn. Well blocked there. Corner now for Aston Villa. Good build-up play. Had to make that block, otherwise Morgan Rogers could let that cut across his body and stick a right foot onto the ball and maybe guide it into the net. Luca Dean, ready with that left foot from the left wing corner position. Corner's about to go in. Will it be short? Yes, it's a short one. Lofted into the box. Bang! Oh, what a goal that is! Absolutely sensational. The way that was worked was absolutely phenomenal. Brilliant goal from Aston Villa. Wow. What a goal that was. Yuri Tielemans. Wow. Short corner from Tielemans. Short corner from Digne. The ball was lofted into the box, but well away from everybody else, to the on-rushing Tielemans, who comes in and hits it with the sweetest right foot volley and slams it through everybody. Brilliant. Bang! Oh, that is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Wow. The technique on that as well. Because the position of his body from where he was, he was at the kind of far right of the box. This guy has scored some absolute killers. Big Raw on the radio, Peter says, yeah, wow. He absolutely slapped that. That was sensational. That's that kind of goal there. As soon as that left his boot, he knew. Absolutely beautiful stuff. This guy, Tielemans, the way he started his Villa career, you thought like it's not going to work out for him, but this guy has now scored in 2 cup finals. He scored that amazing rocket to win Leicester, the FA Cup final, if you remember, a few seasons ago. And now today, beautiful strike. Did I change my stream? No, not really. I was my clock was a little bit behind. Why? What are you saying? Did you change your stream? The time is only 10 seconds now. What do you mean? I'm only 10 seconds behind you, or not following? Just realised I put the score up the wrong way around. You've all failed. You was all meant to notice that, but you've all failed to point out my lame errors. Oh no, he must be loving it. But it's not just scoring in finals. He scored in 2 finals now. And 2 absolute classic strikes that will never be forgotten. It's amazing. Yeah, so Swerve says, did you change your stream? The time is only 10 seconds now. Yeah, well, I didn't really change it, really. I just adjusted the clock. Yeah, what a phenomenal goal that is. Tielemans had a really good season as well. I'll tell you what, guys, like in terms of how you view a player, I'm amazed that more teams didn't come in for Tielemans. Like, at the time, I thought he was going to be... Arsenal would definitely pick him up on a free, but why other teams, like Man United or Liverpool, didn't try and pick this guy up? Yeah, exactly. It was free, exactly. But why didn't other teams come in for him? I'd never understand why Aston Villa got free run at Tielemans. Tielemans, I'm pretty sure at the moment, is about 28, 29, right? And when they picked him up, he was 25, just turned 26 when Villa picked him up. And it's like, what a player. He's a great little player. Crazy, really. You know, that's someone who had a book value of about 45 million at one point. You know, we're talking about 4 or 5 years ago. So, yeah, why they just picked him up for absolutely nothing, no competition. Right, Grifo takes a corner quickly. Well worked. Edge of the box. Ooh, Emi Martinez comes out and claims. He was excellent. He was excellent at Leicester. Really good at Leicester. Obviously, slow start at Villa, but he's really coming to his own now. Buendia, edge of the box. Drives. Puts it into the box. Ooh. Diverted for a corner. McGinn and Villa finishing the half strongly. They're trying to wrap it up in the first half. Corner's about to come in. Matty Cash. Clever corner. That's a... Ooh. Clever corner. Misses out all defenders. Comes through to the Villa player. He puts a lazy leg out and doesn't really connect properly. Ezra Konza. Looked like he was being a little bit manhandled by Manzambi there. Ball comes in. Corner comes in. Drops down. Ref has to get out of the way. Luca Dean recycles. Tielemans. McGinn fizzes one in. Another corner. Villa finishing very strong. Swerve says he was good at Leicester. Yes, we mentioned that. Peter says that's the problem. The bigger teams with loads of money, the shorter the list they pick from. Yeah, this is it. Very true. And Cameron says that was a zinger of a goal. It certainly was. McGinn floats one in. Ball is cleared, but still in the box. Freiburg having a real issue trying to maintain the power and pace of Villa. Tielemans sprays out wide. McGinn drives into the box. Stands one up to the far post. Ooh. Poor clearance from Freiburg. They're really struggling here. Freiburg are absolutely struggling. Oh my goodness! Emi Buendia, left-footed curler from the edge of the box. I was saying a few minutes ago that Villa were trying to get this finished by the end of the half, but what a strike! Another one. When it left his boot, you knew. I was lost for words as I saw it coming. I mean, these goals are crazy. Buendia, oh, what a goal. Oh, what a goal that is. Brilliant. It's perfect. Oh, my days. That goal is absolute class. It's actually better than the Tielemans strike. It's crazy. These goals are absolutely crazy. I'm trying to think of two better goals in a final, like in recent times. I mean, immaculate strikes. Wow. Incredible. And that is the half time. Wowzers. Incredible. You could just sense that Villa were putting the foot down on their throats. Putting their foot down on their necks, and they've basically they've won the final already. It just in 5 minutes of just turning out the power and the pace. What a strike that was. 100% Peter. Good day. Aston Villa and a good night. 100%. Absolutely finished these guys off. Wow. Incredible stuff. Peter says, I'm very happy for the travelling fans. I know, imagine seeing those goals live, following your team in a cup final, Peter, and seeing 2 goals like that. And imagine both from the same side as well. So depending on what angle you're in at the fan, you're going to get a perfect sight of those goals. As a Villa fan, absolutely incredible. I've never kind of minded Aston Villa. I've always kind of quite liked Aston Villa. They're a good team. And they've had their problems, haven't they? You know, with a team like that should never be relegated like they, you know, when they were down in the doldrums for that couple of seasons before getting back in the Prem. But my goodness, what goals! And this manager, not enough is said about this manager. I mean, honestly, I take him at Liverpool all day long. And I know he gets beaten with that stick when he was a manager of Arsenal, but he still got them to a Europa League final. All right, fairs, they got battered by Chelsea in that final, but, you know, he was in a rebuilding stage. They didn't give him enough time at Aston Villa. They mocked him for his English and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, yeah, he's a phenomenal manager. Plays good football as well. Everyone buys into what he does. I mean, honestly, I would take him at Liverpool all day long. How about you, Swerve? Would you have taken? I know you're kind of all right with Carrick's there, but would you have taken Unai Emery at Man United? And how about you, Peter? What do you think, Unai Emery at Liverpool? Do you feel like we should have put out the feelers to see if he wanted to come? I mean, this guy, absolute legend of the game. This will be his 5th or 6th Europa League. It's crazy. Peter says, yeah, Emery is worth a shout at the pool. Yeah, 100%. I mean, with this squad, he'd do wonders with Liverpool squad, I'll tell you that. 100%. But alas, it won't happen. But, oh, sorry, I didn't address your previous comment, Peter, when you said, where was it? Liverpool need to go back to, where was it? Well, I think you said Liverpool need to go back to 30, 40 million players. And I agree with you, because if you find, okay, maybe the money has changed in terms of maybe the 30, 40 million players, what you're getting at is basically your Sadio Mane for 38 million and Mo Salah for 34 or 36, whatever it was. So you're talking about getting those types of players. So maybe the financial money value has moved on a bit. So maybe that 30, 40 million has now become the 40 and 50 million. But granted, yeah, we need to find those 40, 50 million gems that are going to turn into those world-class players. But the problem is we're looking at, for example, this Jan Diamandi at Leipzig. He's 19, had an amazing season, but he's already valued at 100 million euros. So now it's like you're kind of trapped, and you either do you pay and miss out on these players or just let it go. We can still have a few megastars in the skeleton. We can still have a few megastars. Oh, in the skeleton of the team. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, true. But it's just how do you pay for these things? I'm happy with Adam Wharton coming in for the midfield. I really love Adam Wharton. I've always wanted that player. Not even just because we're linked with him, but I said it three and a half years ago. I wanted Adam Wharton. I spotted him quite a long time ago. Michael Elise, when he was at Palace, I wanted him. I was amazed that he was allowed to leave the Premier League. When Chelsea had that bid rejected and he didn't want to go there, and then he ended up at Bayern Munich, I was like, why is nobody going in for Elise? You could see the talent was there. He was always going to be this player. I had no doubt. The only doubt I had over Elise was potentially the injuries, because he used to pick up a few when he was 21. But yeah, he's a player I wanted. I wanted him and Wharton. Those are the two players I wanted 3 years ago. And if I'd have been in some kind of scouting position or whatever, I definitely would have recommended them two. 100%. I mean, looking at the replay of the first goal, Morgan Rogers lofts it in perfectly for Tielemans. The ball does not even touch the ground. The sweetest volley. Maybe that volley is better than, I don't know, both goals are absolutely sensational. The build-up. The shape that Tielemans takes. Bang! Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Bang! Ah! What a strike. Right. Let's go through some of the halftime stats and see how the game has played out. So, half-time, we have Freiburg 0, Aston Villa 2, Yuri Tielemans and Buendia with two absolute chicken zingers to put Villa 2-0 up and on course for their first trophy in 30 years, assist by Morgan Rogers and John McGinn. Freiburg have had 41.9% possession, Aston Villa 58.1%, so heavily dominant. 3 shots for Freiburg, 1 on target, 9 for Villa, and 3 on target. Total touches inside the opposition box, Freiburg 6, Villa 19. Saves by Freiburg keeper 1, saves by Martinez 1. Aerial duels 1 by Freiburg 8, 7 by Villa. Fouls committed by Freiburg 9, 8 by Villa, so contested, hotly contested. Corners by Freiburg 1, 4 for Villa. Shots heavily slanted in Aston Villa's favour, 9 and 3 on target and only 3, so 300% more from the Villa boys. I always like to look at the other statistics in terms of the energy level shown. Where's those sprint stats? They're not showing it on this page, so we'll leave those behind. Peter says my Villa shots is 8. Yeah, maybe it's just one of those counters where they something just doesn't align, or in terms of they believe that something else didn't count. But either way, the main piece of information that mattered is the scoreline. It's always a scoreline. All these stats and statistics are one thing, but it's all about that scoreline. And at the end of the day, it's Aston Villa 2-0 up and cruising. So now, this is the important aspect. 6th place is going to get Champions League if Villa finish 5th. And I do believe that Villa will finish 5th. I think that there's bound to be celebrations There's bound to be a lot of celebrations in the Villa camp. You would imagine that, you know, they're gonna have a lot of celebrating going on, a lot of jubilant guys and girls out there, and you would imagine that Man City would get the job done versus maybe Villa on the last game of the season to send off Pep into the Manchester City sunset. And if Liverpool beat Brentford, Liverpool would hop over Villa on goal difference, and Villa would drop into 5th, and that would magically allow Bournemouth to finish in the Champions League places. Quite incredible. Quite incredible. Right, a few more in the chat. Peter says 6 places is crazy for the Champions League. I know. And this is the thing. It's like, if you remember 4 or 5 years ago when they had the whole uproar about the Champions League about Europe having the breakaway and becoming a Super League. And there was all that uproar, all the clubs were in arms and the fans got together. And then a few years later, we've now got the Super League. The Super League is basically, obviously just the Champions League rebranded with all these extra teams in. And the Super League is really the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? It's actually crazy when we've got so many places and a team like Bournemouth can get into the Champions League. That just doesn't really happen in other countries. But the financial power of England is just off the charts. And that's what I don't like, to be honest. Gary says 2 of the best goals in a final ever. Ever. You are spot on, Gary. 2 of the best goals you'll ever see in a final ever. Definitely. Oh, 100%, Peter. I'm glad. I think it's amazing to see Bournemouth in there. I hope it doesn't mess them up to the point where they kind of fall by the wayside in the Prem. Obviously, they're unlikely to repeat 6th place again in the Prem. But I hope they don't get too caught up in it so that before you know it, they're in the relegation spots. Especially because they're going to use Iraola, and then you're going to have all those extra games in the Champions League and all that extra pressure and attention, and all the things can get to their heads and the stability of the club. So I hope they don't end up doing something crazy, because we saw it with Leicester. Leicester won the league, then they're in the Champions League, and then the following season after that, they're starting to drop down, and before you know it, they're relegated. Do you know what I mean? So I hope Bournemouth don't go that way. Natasha says, hi, I see Liverpool are going to sign Bradley Barcola. Do you know something? Hi, Natasha, welcome back. I would love to get Barcola. I think he's the right age. I think he's the right profile. He can play on both flanks. He can even drop in and do a bit of a role as a striker, but obviously he's a wide man. Amazing pace, because we've got no pace in our squad anymore. He's not really a great finisher, Barcola, but he does get numbers. He can fire the bullets in for Isak and hopefully Ekitike on his return. So Barcola, we need Barcola and another. So I'd be happy with Barcola, Jared Bowen, Diamande, but we need 2 of the 3. But I'd rather Diamande and Barcola. I want those 2. Those are the 2 players I want, Natasha. He would take Salah's place. Well, this is the thing. I agree with you. It's but apparently Barcola, because he's been linked with Arsenal as well. He says he prefers Liverpool, I think, from what I was reading. But he does want to play off the left. So there is that. But I guess once you get a player in, you play them where they're going to play where you want them to play. Peter says, good points. Too many plates to spin. Yeah, exactly. For Bournemouth. RER chat about Bournemouth, yeah. Natasha says he would take Salah's place. Yes, exactly. Peter says, back in 5. See you soon, my man. Natasha says, I think Diamande wants Liverpool. Oh, I think so as well, because there was that lovely story about his dad being a Liverpool fan, wasn't it? So I suppose what it depends, though, Natasha, is what they're saying with the rumour is that if Liverpool get Barcola, then maybe Barcola will get Diamande. And maybe there'll be a bit of communication with the club. Like, as long as we definitely need one of them. I would prefer to get both. But as long as we get one of them, I'll be happy. But I don't know if we get both, because you're talking about the thick end of 100, 180 million euros. Are Liverpool going to do that, Natasha? I somewhat doubt it. But you never know. We need to spend big. Do you remember Emlyn Hughes? I remember the man. I never saw him play, but I do remember him. Yeah, because I remember him from Question of Sport when I was a kid. I loved him on there with Bill Bowman, and I knew he was the ex-Liverpool captain. He was a lovely guy, very funny. Why'd you ask? But yes, I definitely remember Emlyn. Do you remember Satan Greaves used to be on TV? Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I do remember. I used to love that programme. So good. And that's the thing as well. When I was a kid, I didn't even know Ian St John used to play for Liverpool. But, you know, obviously I always knew who Jimmy Greaves was because everyone knew who Jimmy Greaves was. He was an absolute joker. But what a player Jimmy Greaves was. When you see some of the highlights and the goals, can you imagine a young Jimmy Greaves now? What he'd be worth? Oh my goodness! It'd be like worth about 150 million. It'd be crazy. But yeah, I do remember those things. Saturday grandstand and all that sorts of stuff. Dickie Davis and all that sort of stuff. You know, all these things that people they'll be listening to us thinking, who are these guys on about? But if you know, you know. Showing our age, nothing like that. I know exactly. That's the thing. That's the crazy thing is that TV will be obsolete soon because things like BBC and the channels and whatnot, people don't even watch these things. People are all about, you know, the streaming services or, you know, your Netflixes and all that, but, you know, just normal TV. Like Villa breaking. But yeah, we're definitely showing our vintage, Natasha. Yeah, Natasha, so regarding the winger situation, who do you want to come in as our wingers? Do you think we need one? Do you think we need two? And who do you want? Obviously, next season we should be using young Rio Engamoa more. Gakpo, I don't mind, squad player fine. That's why I think we need two. We need two first teamers. But let me know who you would like as the wingers. Ooh, Martinez claims the ball, but kind of creeps outside the box. But yeah, he didn't slide out of the box with with the ball. The Freiburg manager looks like he's won a competition to be there. We grew up with no gadgets, internet, etc. We certainly did. We certainly did. The good old days when life was simple and better times. But, you know, children just wouldn't even understand it. Imagine if they saw how we grew up, they'd think it's archaic. You know, those kind of things, Natasha, I'm sure when you was a girl and you want to go outside and play with your friends, it was like, and everyone else in the chat, Swerve, Cameron, Peter, once you're back, Gary. It was a case of when you had to, imagine, you know this, Natasha, you know when you wanted to call your friends to maybe meet up, but you couldn't even use the house phone because the money, it was so expensive that your parents didn't even want you to use the phone. They're like, listen, just leave that phone alone, go and knock on the door. That I used to get it all the time. My mum was militant like that. As soon as that phone got picked up, she knew, boy. So that had to go back on its cradle. Or when I used to pick it up, it'd be like, pure silence, stealth. You went out and played, exactly. Buendia lobbed, tries to chip the keeper. Yeah, you went outside and played, got good, you know, you learnt things, learnt to climb, play, hide, communicate, more important, communicate, social structure, all these things that these kids, you know what, it's a real sad state of affair. Natasha, I don't know how old your children, I know you're married and I know you have children, I don't know how old your children are, but You know, it's the true sad state of children these days is like the 17 to 22-year-olds. They're like, they don't want to talk to people because it's awkward. It's embarrassing. It's like, yeah, it's, people say football, the game is gone, but in some ways, humanity, the game has gone. Do you know what I mean? Sorry for any of my younger viewers. I love you too. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. My son is 10 and he's all about gadgets and internet. What can you do? Even if you try and pull them back from it, all their friends have got it. All their schoolmates have got it. The whole world is doing it. And if they don't have it, they're being victimized and all this sort of nonsense. So my oldest son is 26, right? And I kid you not. So obviously he was 16, 10 years ago. And he was literally a few months from leaving secondary school. And he was 15. He says, Dad, I'm the only kid that doesn't have a phone. I'm like, it's 2016. You're not the only kid to not have a mobile phone. He goes, no, I am, seriously. And I was like, no, don't lie to me. Don't give me that nonsense. Don't try and bluff me into getting a phone. Because I was like, you're not having a phone. I didn't give any of my sons phones. None of them. Their mum did, but that's on her. But anyway, so I couldn't believe it. So in 2016, my 16-year-old didn't have a phone. And then his mum got him a phone. And he was the last person in his class to have a phone. And if it was up to me, he wouldn't even have got the phone anyway. But yeah, it's just different world. Different world. 52nd minute. Aston Villa 2, Freiburg 0. Natasha says he's an only child. Oh, you only have one child. Okay, he's an only child. And because he has got ADHD and it's hard, he goes to specialist school, but he does not have a phone. Okay. That's good. Because it's not good that he's got that, obviously, but I mean, like, it's good that he goes to specialist school, and it's good that he doesn't have the phone because obviously he'd be fixated on these things now. My children, my younger two, don't have any. They're not challenged on the spectrum or anything like that. But my oldest son, he has ADD, which obviously you know that is. He has the same as your son, but without the hyperactivity. So yeah, my oldest son, he has ADD. So, which in some ways is a little bit, not more difficult. Peter says, very difficult time to be a kid, too many distractions. In this day and age, Peter, 100%. Yeah, I was saying to Natasha, in some ways, having ADD over ADHD is a little bit more of a curse in a way, because you still have the same attention deficit disorder, but without the hyperactivity, it doesn't stand out. So I used to think when my older son was 7, I used to think that he might have might be dyslexic or have dyspraxia or stuff like that, because you find it so hard to concentrate. But then he was so regular in terms of his energy levels, and obviously without the hyper component. So he had a bit of a raw deal at school because he always kind of felt he was behind and lacked confidence and stuff. Oh, that's good. Oh, what a chance. So yeah, it's very difficult. So in some ways, the hyper component of ADHD is a blessing and a curse, because at least you can identify, because when you have a child that is ADHD, it becomes very apparent very quickly when they're young. You know what you're dealing with, as it were, if that makes sense. I'm sure you noticed that. It does make them special, 100%. And yeah, I know you mean it in the sense of it actually truly does, because when it's channeled in the right way, it can be like a superpower, because they can hyper focus on things. And when somebody hyper focuses on something, they can take it to a level that a normal person that isn't challenged in that way can't match. So people that have that hyper component, if they can really lock in on something, they can achieve things that are crazy impressive. So good luck to him, the young man, your young man. They're actually quite into. Oh, of course. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it's just people that have neurodivergent pathways. They don't know how special they are. They don't know how gifted they can be because of all of the other factors that kind of, normal child behaviour that aren't neurodivergent. The neurodivergent children, they suffer more internally, sadly. But that's why it's good that your son's going to a specialist school. Is that going to drop to a Freiburg player cleared by Morgan Rogers? Having a cheeky fruit teller. Jeez, these are hard. I like my teeth. What's going on? Natasha says, and you think of how many stars of today are on the spectrum. Oh, 100%. 100%. And imagine a lot of people that achieve great things being on spectrum, but from a time when these things weren't even diagnosed and the things they would have had to go through, but they still overcome things. It's super impressive what some people have gone through. Fruit tellers. Are these fruit tellers? Or what are they? Starburst. No, the fruit tellers, yeah. I'm asking my son what they are. They're like fruit teller, but they're off-brand. I'll tell you what they are. They're dislodging my teeth. And I need to hold on to these bad boys. Wow. Chew it. Chew it. So you know that. You know when you had that last 10p? And what you really wanted was fruit tellers or fruit pastels. But you only had 10p, so you had to settle for them Chewits. And you know what's the rip-off with Chewits, Natasha? This will make you laugh. You know when you go through the packet and you ate the first one, but then the second one, the wrapper was so sticky on it, you had to end up throwing it away. It's like waste of money. Yeah, Chewits was just that backup option that you didn't really want. The way these sweets are leaving my teeth, it's a bit like Freiburg's attack. Absolutely toothless. Tash says, every day after school and at the end of the week, 50p pocket money. Go down there, get your pick and mix. These kids these days, they don't know about the legend of pick and mix, Natasha. Okay. I remember in the very late 80s and the early 90s, my pocket money was 50p a day. 3-0 to Villa, is it? Okay, let's have a look. Ball comes in, and there it is. There it is. Morgan Rogers, 3-0. And that is it. Game, set, and match. That was a good goal as well. Lovely goal. And is my prediction going to be correct? 3-1, I said, for Villa. Peter, sorry. You said 3-2, but I don't think Freiburg is getting 2. They might get a consolation if Villa switch off. But yeah, I was saying about the pocket money situation. In the late 80s and early 90s, I had 50p a day. And one of my friends, his mum was, she was so loaded. And he had £5 a day. In like 1991, I'm like, wow, £5 a day at school. And he used to get cabs to school there and back. It was crazy. Natasha, at the end of the week, 50p was enough for a comic and a packet of sweets. So true. Comics were like 20p back then. Used to buy my edition of Transformers every week for 20p. The good old days. And like I say, sweets as well. And now those same things now, packet of sweets and a magazine, set you back a £5. Crazy. Peter says, might change my prediction to 5-0. Still 5 goals scored. I like your style. Woolworths pick a mix. Oh, I used to love that. A little cheeky hand in the fudge when no one was looking, a little bonus one. But yeah. These are really nice. There you go. A little bit of a posterity there. Fake fruit tellers. Natasha says, and also the glass bottles which had lemonade in when empty. If you took it back to the corner shop, you got 10p for every empty milk bottle. Or every empty bottle. Yeah, exactly. I used to have the same with the chemist, my local chemist, if he took back the glass. Amazing, isn't it? Like, so basically we were the first people to recycle. Imagine that. Recycling with incentive to get money back. Did you get 10p a bottle? I used to get ripped off. I think I used to get something like 2 or 5p. You're smarter than me, Natasha. But yeah, the good old days. My son's laughing. My son's laughing at me at the edge of the screen, thinking, yeah. Cameron says, haha, you lot are old. And you are rude, young man. The way I see life is that I definitely wouldn't change my time of life for anything. I wouldn't want to be young in this day and age. I'm sure you feel the same way, Peter. I'm sure you feel the same way, Natasha, as well. Swerve, who was in the chat earlier, the Man United fan, he's of a similar age as us as well. Do you think so, Peter, that people look younger now? Or are we just getting older? I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm just trying to stay looking young. I'm trying to do my best. Because some of the people that I've worked with... Hey, hi Lauren, how are you? How's it going? Are you having a nice evening? Happy birthday to Miss Lauren in the chat. Yeah, this game has gone. I'd rather enjoy the chat with you guys. If anything happens, I'm not going to be too focused on this game because there's not too much happening. This game is more or less done and dusted. Peter says the 80s were super cool. Great music. Do you know what? 80s music is so underappreciated. It's unbelievable. Natasha says, no, it is too hard for them today. So much pressure put on them. And it's hard to be a parent today. Our parents went with the flow. Do you know something? I know what you mean, Natasha. Like, my mum didn't... My mum really didn't... She loved me and whatnot, but she didn't really business. Like, you know, once I got to a certain age, it's like, yeah, I'll see you when you come in for dinner. Do you know what I mean? When now everyone's stressed, everyone's... You know, you didn't even have to have much money. Like, Natasha, I think you was out of the chat at some point, but yesterday Peter said, I think it was his younger cousin or younger brother, or older brother, sorry. Peter, you'll have to remind me, but he was on his youth training scheme money and he had a season ticket at Anfield on his YTS money. And that's the way you could survive back in the day. You're welcome, Miss Lauren. Happy birthday to you, my dear. And Peter says, happy birthday. All the love in the chat. What have you been doing for your birthday, Lauren? Have you had a nice day? And Lauren, don't forget to drop a like on the stream. And everyone else in the stream as well. Don't forget to drop a like on the stream. Hit that thumbs up button. It all helps the channel grow stronger. I'm wondering if I should mute the chat, because I mean mute as in my microphone, because you guys don't need to be hearing my jaws clenching all over these sweets. Lauren says, thanks, Peter. Natasha says, even the music was better in the 80s. Remember Top of the Pops? Oh, my goodness. I used to record Top of the Pops on the video so you could play back the songs, because that way you can kind of listen to them back for free and all that sort of stuff. Or listening to the top 40 countdown on Sunday. It was so exciting to see what was going to be number one. But yeah, love the music of the 80s. Oh, my days. The best times. The 80s really were the best times, honestly. Remember Top of the Pops though, but we don't remember Jimmy. I always found him weird. Even when I was a kid, when I see him on Top of the Pops, I always found him strange. These are absolutely banging. If only. But you know something, the good thing about memories and living in a certain time, you appreciated it, and you know, and if you got a lot out of it at the time, I know I didn't take my childhood for granted. My childhood was the best days of my life. I ended up with having quite a stressful adulthood in terms of family and raising children. I've had quite a difficult time, so I really appreciated my childhood. Childhood was definitely the best days of my life, I'll tell you that. But such is life. I've always believed that life only sends you tests that you can handle. And if you're sent a difficult time, it's because you're kind of built to handle it. So everybody's life is difficult. Rosy, sunshine, rain, thunder in different ways. So it is what it is. Tielemans floats one in. Freiburg have literally had their heart knocked out of them. The heart's gone. They know it's a wrap. I said I didn't want any more sweets yet. I'm there smashing them. Sundays were always Sunday roast. Most definitely, the good times. Peter says, yin and yang, innit? Got to know the good times, got to know the bad times to appreciate the good times. Very true. Well said, sir. All right, Watkins. He's free. Looking for support. Drives forward. But yeah, good times. Good times in the 80s for sure. I thought the 90s were great as well. Yeah, but definitely the 80s. Great stuff. It just seems wild to even think that being around that long, do you know what I mean? Just incredible, really. How time flies. Natasha like Christmas, Halloween, bonfire night with families all got together. Yep. Yeah, it just seems like people just don't care anymore in the same way. Everybody's so disposable, sadly. But maybe these things will come around again when, you know, some of us maybe, you know, we have grandchildren, whatever, and I don't know. I haven't reached that stage yet. I don't want to have grandchildren yet or anything like that, but maybe when these things come around, yeah, maybe things can. I do believe like world and society kind of goes around. Obviously, things it will change in terms of technology and the way certain things happen, but I feel like certain social things will always come back around again, and hopefully that is the case. That maybe one day traditions can come back, and we can move away from the disposable age that we're in. But yeah, it is what it is. Natasha says, like Christmas time, kids got what they were getting. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Of course, you might make a little list and you might get a couple of the things you wanted, but yeah, the other times it was you got what you were given. But a lot of the time you were happy with that. Do you know what I mean? And I remember my mum. My mum was I had an older mum. My mum was one of the older mums. And she was telling me about the time my mum grew up in. My mum was a little kid in wartime in World War II because she was my mum was an older woman when she had me. But she was telling me about her Christmas time, and what she got for Christmas was just an orange in a stocking. That was it. She got a tangerine, but she was actually happy. Do you know what I mean? She got some a little bit of cake, a few biscuits, the odd chocolate, and that was it. She was happy as anything. But different times. And now if you haven't got your kid the latest iPhone or whatever, you know, you failed in life. You're a failed parent. The Captain Grifo is going off, the main man. The jig is up, trying to get some energy. Oh, Martinez came for a corner, for a free kick. Challenged in the air, dropped it. Scoops up the rebound. If Freiburg could come back from here, this would be the biggest miracle in football I think I've ever seen. Peter in the chat says Southampton have been expelled. I saw that this morning. Or was that yesterday when I saw it? But they're absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. To take those sorts of stupid risks. If you're good enough to go up, whether that's at the top two or the playoffs, why do you need that extra 1%? What is your problem? Just play the game and win the game. Natasha says, and also after the summer holidays, you would always have a new pair of school shoes, new school bag. Yeah. 100%. Good times, good times. Yeah, so strange about Southampton. Like, you know, and they're just completely blown it for themselves now. And it'd be interesting to see if Middlesbrough can take advantage of being reinstated and find their way up. And then all of a sudden you'll have, once again, the three teams from Tyne and Wearside on. So you'd have Sunderland, Newcastle and Middlesbrough all up. And I like those games. Those Tyne and Wear derbies are really good. Natasha says, I see Hull will play in Middlesbrough. Yes. I mean, obviously Middlesbrough will be the favourites. But Hull, yet another team that has recent times in the Premier League. So it's always the same kind of faces. Within the same 6-7 year period, you'll always see the same 7 or 8 teams rotated through the Championship. Miss Lauren says, kids these days, if you gave them a tangerine. Yeah, I know, exactly. Imagine, you give your kid a tangerine, probably throw it in your head. So, my mum, she was happy as Larry getting a tangerine when she was a little girl. I'll never forget that story. She would go to the bakery, she said, her dad would give her half a shilling or whatever it was back then. And that's going to be a goal. Oh, my days. Oh, he's missed it. That would have been a fantastic, well-worked goal, but the jig's up. But yeah, my mum's granddad basically used to give her half a penny, whatever, to go to the bakery, and she'd come back with a bag of Stell donuts from the day before, Stell cakes that the bakery hadn't got rid of, and her and her brothers and sisters were chuffed as anything, eating Stell cakes. Can you imagine coming home, giving your kids Stell cakes, and your kids be over the moon? Just a different time, different world. How does he not score that? Tries to be too clever with a finish. Tried to do a near post cheeky finish, but he should have went far post. Made it 4-0. But the way he's down on the floor holding his head, Emi Buendia, it's a little bit pointless. They're 3-0 up. He's already scored a great goal in this game. This game's over. Sensational goal. I'm going to have a look. Natasha was talking about Hull, so let's have a look at the championship table. See which position Hull finished in. Hull were the 6th place team. So Hull beat Millwall. So Millwall. It's always the way with the championship, isn't it? It's such a strange league, the championship. So Natasha was talking about Hull playing Middlesbrough, and she's spot on. And the interesting thing is that the team that finishes 3rd, so Millwall finished 10 points ahead of Hull, but over the 2 playoffs, Millwall got knocked out by Hull. And it's like, Millwall clearly the better team in terms of the league position, but obviously Hull have got it done. And look at the form of Hull in the last 6 games. They only won 1 in 6, drew 3, lost 2. But yet, when it came to the playoff moments, Millwall had good form, and Hull still turned them over. So the championship is a crazy league. Anything can happen. Another chance for Villa. John McGinn, edge of the box. Peter says playoffs make good sellable TV. They really do, don't they? I'll definitely be doing the as long as I'm free on that day, I'll definitely be doing the championship playoff final. They're such good games. They're always like top tier football entertainment. The playoff final, 100%. Let's have a look when that actual final is. Saturday the 23rd. So yeah, 3 days time, Saturday the 23rd, playoff final. Wonder what time that is though. Not sure what time that is. It is really so true, isn't it, Natasha? 100%. But as long as you don't give them a phone, then they can't. I swear my son's trying to give me diabetes with all these sweets on the stream. So, no more. No mas, no mas. Well, 2 more, and then I'm done. Buendia coming off. Ian Matson and Jadon Sancho coming on. Someone like Emi Buendia, whose career has been blighted by injuries and he's a little bit up and down. And people thought Buendia is not maybe not good enough for the Premier League. He's been in the Premier League on and off for 3 or 4 seasons. But Unai Emery is such a good manager. He raises the level of everyone he takes on. Buendia looks like a really good Premier League player now. Tielemans back, back to his best. John McGinn looks absolutely sensational for Aston Villa these days. Unai Emery improves so many players. He is such a good manager, honestly. I would take him. At Liverpool, Natasha says, let me read Peter's first. These lads are living a dream now. They really are, aren't they? I mean, just enjoying a game knowing you're going to win a final. How lovely is that? Natasha says, do you remember Cocahoon cubes, sweets, bananas, and shrimp sweets? I don't remember shrimp sweets. Oh, yeah, the cola cubes. Yeah. I think you're saying cola cubes, right? And yeah, sweet bananas. Yeah, I used to love me a sweet banana. That was me all day long. What are the shrimp sweets though? I don't remember. Oh, was that the pink ones? Is that the pink ones? The shrimp sweets? I think those are the ones. Vaguely, and obviously bonbons. I know you all remember bonbons. The pink bonbons, the yellow bonbons. Yeah, those are the days. But yeah. Yeah, this guy next to me, he's trying to raise my sugar levels to unreasonable standards. Freiburg bursting through, going nowhere. Natasha says, yes, why did Arsenal get rid of Emery? Good manager. Do you know what? They definitely went way too early on him. They really disrespected him for what he's achieved in the game. To be fair, obviously it's worked out for them. They replaced Emery with Arteta, so they're not complaining. But with the money that Arteta was given at Arsenal in his last 5 years, if they'd have stuck with Emery, they would have been playing better football and they probably would have won the league by now at some point anyway. So, but Arsenal won the league. Emery has found his club. Oh, good save from Martinez. I nearly got my 3-1 prediction there. Good save. But yeah, Emery's a fantastic manager. Would you take him at Liverpool, Natasha? That is my question to you. Peter says, did Arsenal fans chase him out? Yeah, they did. They really did. Oh, cough candy, sweets, wham bars, flying discs. Yeah, I remember all of those wham bars. NLKOTWOK. Yo, bro, this is my first time seeing you and typing in your chat. I'm just scrolling on YouTube and saw you live with little viewers. Just want to say, keep going, man. And by the looks of it, you're a... Thank you, my bro. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I've got a nice little community, so... not everybody starts off big or even gets bigger, but I don't mind. I'm happy with the people that are with me. And yeah, we're having a good time, a good chat about life, talking about the football in the background and about our childhoods, all the sweets we used to buy, reminiscing about the good old days in the 80s and the 90s, etc. But yeah, thank you for your comment. Really appreciate it. Drop a like on the stream and consider subscribing. Help me out. Good times, Natasha says. Good. All right, and by the looks of it, you're a good Liverpool fan. Thank you, bro. Me, myself, is also a good fan, and I hope that you get bigger. And even if you don't, you have a great time. Exactly. I'm subbing and liking, bro. Hopefully our Reds are good next year, lad. I hear that, my man. What do I call you? I'll call you Wok. You got NL. Are you from the Netherlands? I'm imagining you from the Netherlands because you started with NL. So I'm thinking that might be the case. John McGinn's about to whip a corner in from the right-hand side. Happy days, Peter says. Good times, Natasha. Happy days. Exactly. But Peter, is that also a reference to, the Fonzie show, Happy Days? Or just good times? Nah, from the US, but my name is Nico. Oh, nice one, Nico. Nice to meet you, bro. Whereabouts in the States are you from, brother? I've been to the States a few times. I've been East Coast a couple of times. I've been New York, New Jersey, around that kind of the Penn State area. Been to California as well on a trip. So yeah, I've been to the States 3 times. Great country. And thank you for subbing. Really appreciate it. And I'm glad you dropped in. And it's such a nice way, YouTube. It can connect people from all over the world because of the time zones. And when you've got things like football matches on at different times of the day, 3 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you're going to have the World Cup in the summer in your country. You're going to have your games on. But when your games are on at 1 p.m., 3 p.m. or 5 p.m. your time, we're going to be having them at 9 p.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And so it's a way for all of us to connect. It's amazing. Nico says, so I just made this, laugh aloud. I've used this name for a while. Yeah, I live in California, great state. Glad you have been here. Oh man, I loved it. I did a 2-week tour. Me and my best friend, we did a 2-week tour around the California, the coastline. So we drove all down the Big Sur. We started at Lax, went down to San Diego. Then we went out of California actually to Nevada, Grand Canyon, etc. Las Vegas for a few nights. Then we came back into Cali, went up towards Sacramento, and then carried on around down the Big Sur, and then finished back in LAX, and took us 2 weeks. Brilliant holiday. What a place. San Francisco as well. That's awesome, bro. That sounds like really fun. And like an amazing trip. Yeah, once in a lifetime. Especially I was a little bit younger back then. Didn't have children. Didn't have anything holding me back. So yeah, good times. You know what's one of the funniest things I remember is I was coming in on the plane. Me and my friend were coming on the plane. And just as we were coming into LAX, it was late at night and it was slowing down. I remember looking outside and seeing a billboard. And obviously you're from the States. And obviously you got KFC there. We got KFC here. And the advert was for the KFC bargain bucket. So obviously we know what that is. The KFC bargain bucket. But the American one, me and my friend was like, what is this? Because the American one had 18 pieces of chicken, like 12 fries, like 4 beans, like 3 coleslaw, something stupid like that. But Nico, in England, you get like 6 pieces of chicken, like 4 fries, 1 beans, 1 coleslaw, and done. That's it. But America, it's like you had a whole farm in a bucket. It's just crazy. Yeah, that always makes me laugh, thinking back that memory. Yeah, we get less of everything, bro. We get less of everything. And you know what's the bad thing is, like, the age I'm at now, I spent the majority of my life, my adult life, being vegetarian. So just when I went that trip to San Fran, California on that holiday, I was vegetarian. It was during my vegetarian phase. So, oh man, I missed out on a lot of good food, man. I missed out on a lot of meat, put it that way. Yeah, the US and KFC is interesting. US is different, man. US is different. But yeah, so you're a Liverpool fan, Nico, yeah? That's really interesting. How long have you been following the Reds? And really, welcome to the channel. Lovely to meet you. I'm just amazed at how many people are connecting. We've got people from London, I've got people here that have family from Liverpool, someone that still lives in near the Liverpool area now. You know, chat to people from India, New Zealand, yourself in the States. It's phenomenal, amazing. So Villa, 1 minute additional time. They're nearly there. They're going to get their hands on the cup. Quick break. Ollie Watkins full of running. John McGinn. So sprightly, John McGinn. He's such an energizer bunny, that guy. Don't know how he does it, John McGinn. It's like he's like he ends the game like he just started it. It's just as fresh. Man, he's drug testing. He's just non-stop, that guy. Aston Villa have won the Europa League. They have defeated Freiburg 3-0. Absolutely slapped Freiburg silly. Emi Martinez is on the ground, banging the ground. So happy. The Villa fans, first trophy in 30 years. Absolutely phenomenal effort from the boys from the Midlands, UK. Absolutely top tier performance from them. They've absolutely destroyed Freiburg in the final. Absolutely phenomenal. In the chat, Nico says, oh man, for sure. Yeah, the US is very different. I've been a Liverpool fan my whole life. I'm kind of young. I'm a kind of a young'un. And as they would say in Europe, I think, yeah, that's how we talk over here. My whole family is too. I'm a Liverpool fan till I die. Respect, my man. Welcome to the channel, because I will cover football and hopefully you'll pop in. You can always have a chat with me. But I'll always cover every Liverpool game as a priority. Peter says, bravo to the Villa. Well done to the Villa. Props to them. Nico says, well, at least this means that we get you UCL next season, but also 6th place will be interesting on Sunday. And this is the thing. Now that Villa have obviously you won Europa League, like you're saying, 6th place gets Champions League if they finish 5th, which I think they will, because I think Liverpool's going to finish 4th. But in a way, there was all this stress about Liverpool not finishing in the top 4 or top 5. But even if Liverpool had dropped to 6, they still would have got Champions League anyway. So it's a bit rudimentary in a way. Natasha says they will play the winners of the Champions League. They will play the winners of the Champions League winners in the World Super Cup in December. So yeah, so imagine that could be PSG Villa, or it could be PSG it could be Arsenal Aston Villa in the Super Cup is what you're saying, or PSG versus Aston Villa. Can you imagine if it's another, an all Premier League game in the Super Cup? I really don't want that. I like the Premier League being strong, but I don't want it to be so strong we're winning everything. It just makes it a bit silly. Peter says they are playing Freed from Desire too. Oh, the place will be bouncing. Oh, I just heard it. Yeah, they are. Freed from Desire. Dun, dun, never know the words. Freed from Desire. Nico says, I agree. We need to win against Brentford for Salah, Robbo, and potentially Alisson. Oh, man. That's the one, man. I mean, obviously, I'm resigned to the fact that Salah and Robbo are leaving. I think it's the right time. It's okay. I've made peace with it. I prefer them both to stay, but it's okay. But Alisson, if they let him leave, our hierarchy, they're criminals. If they let Alisson leave just to get 10, 12 million, what's the point? He's still one of the best keepers in the world, if not the best, however you want to view things. He's still top 3, top 4 keepers in the world. Keep him for a season. What is 12 million going to do for Liverpool? We can't replace him. You can't even get an adequate backup for 12 million. Keep the man. He's under contract. He will stay. But, yeah, exactly. Keep him. I know, man. It's disappointing. I'm so disappointed with this season, Nico. Peter says, I think the words are, my lover's got no money and he's got strong belief. Oh, my God. As soon as I've read it, I can hear it now. That's so wild. Did you look that up? Because, you know what, usually if I listen to a song, I can pick out the songs, but I never clocked those lyrics. My lover's got no money. He's got his strong beliefs. Oh, my days. I thought it was, do you know what I always thought it was? I knew it was that the lover's got no money. I was like, my lover's got no money. He's got his strong beliefs. I've always, of course, he's got his strong beliefs. So obvious now. Big tune in my day. Big tune in my day, bro. But I didn't know the lyrics, though. Nico says, and I don't know what your stance is on Georgie, but I think that something needs to happen. I'll take you there, Nico. Let me finish the rest. Something needs to happen because I don't know about you, but there's no way he can be the successor of Alisson. Right. I had a big thing. Now, you know the game versus Villa last week where we got absolutely pumped 4-2. That was the game for me. I said to myself, Mamardashvili, I'm on the fence. After that game, no way. I'm done. Obviously, he's going to play for us. He's our keeper, but I don't think he's good enough. Now, at the end of the day, we're not going to replace Alisson. We're not going to get a like for like, obviously. We might not even get a player that is 3/4 of Alisson, but Mamardashvili is like 25% of Alisson level. He is not good enough. We need another keeper. If we're losing Alisson, we need another keeper because Mamardashvili, he's not. You cannot win the league with Mamardashvili. That is a fact. Peter says, Peter K does a wicked misheard lyrics video. Very funny. I'll have to check it out. I also need to check out that lady. What was her name? That Liverpool vlogger? It was Mary Macaro, I think you told me. Nico says, I couldn't agree more. Right, you can't win the league with him being in goal for 30 games. No, bro, no way, Nico, no way. He is horrific. Now, obviously, he's not bad at shot stopping, but when I saw his feet positioning for the goals, he was 2 or 3 yards either side in the wrong spot. As soon as I saw that first goal go in, it was a good shot by Morgan Rogers, but I thought, surely he should have saved that. And when I saw the replay, I'm like, dude, you're like 6'4", 6'5". You're getting your hand on these things. You're just missing them. Nah, he's not good enough. He's not good enough. But yeah, these Villa guys, they're living the dream. Nico said, oh no, I've read that one. Nico says, and the thing is that, bro, he's massive. I'm pretty sure he's like 6'6". He could be like a basketball player. And with him missing saves like that, unacceptable. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. I wasn't sure if he was 6'6", but I knew he's definitely around 6'4", 6'5". He probably is 6'5", 6'6". He's actually taller than Alisson. But he's kind of like, it's like he's got no presence in the box as well. He doesn't dominate it. And you just think, you got David Raya looks tiny in the Arsenal goal. David Raya is probably about 6 foot. But, you know, he's been phenomenal this year. He gets his hands on everything. He commands his box. He's great taking catches in the air. Mamardashvili, some of the things I see him go up for and fail to claim, I'm like, how can you fail to claim these things the size of you? And he doesn't look confident as well. Something about him just looks like he's scared. I'm not having him. I'm not having him at all. Yeah, exactly right. 6'1" and way better. But that's the thing. Look, Mamardashvili, he's still a fairly young guy, especially in goalkeeping terms. So, of course, he can go further. But considering that, if you just think about 2 years ago, Liverpool's goalkeeping department was probably the best in world football. You had Taffarel, the Brazilian legend, that, you know, he's leaving now, but, you know, he was the goalkeeping the head of it. You got Alisson, who was the best in the world, or top 2 in the world, however you want to chop it up. And then you had Kelleher, who was the best. He was one of the better goalkeepers in the league and definitely the best second keeper in the league. Maybe the best second keeper in the world. Alisson and Kelleher to now Mamardashvili and Freddie Woodman. Oh, do me a favour now. I absolutely agree with the way he looks. I've never thought he looks confident or whatever. He looks kind of like scared. I know, but it's weird because I don't want to judge him because obviously, look, he's from Georgia and maybe a certain way his Eastern European looks kind of give him away, but there's something in his eyes. His eyes don't give me that. His eyes don't give me that power. Like, yeah, I'm here, I'm him. He looks like he's just nervous. He looks like he's just like we've got to stay in England. He's called shook. He looks like he's scared. Like, you know, he's like a cat. He's on alert all the time. It's weird. Oh my gosh, Alisson and Keller. Oh my gosh, good times, especially in the domestic cups. Exactly. You know, I don't know. I'm trying not to look too deep into it because we've got a lot of problems at Liverpool at the moment. And my question to you, Nico, where are you with the manager situation? What is your stance on the man, the myth, not the legend, Arne Slot? Yes, exactly. His eyes laugh out loud. Yes, it's just something. I told you, man. I told you. You'd think Taffarel will get a job for life. But that's the thing. Taffarel does have a job for life. Taffarel's job is he's literally Alisson's mentor throughout his career. It's so incredible what they've done with Taffarel because he's obviously a Brazilian legend. And, you know, he's been with Alisson for basically the last 7-8 years of his career. And considering that Alisson and Ederson were like that in the, you know, the Brazilian food chain, that Taffarel has proper looked after Alisson, like on point, because they know that he's the guy. So, you know, incredible, really. Nico says, it's so simple. Get him out. I know, obviously, we're talking about Slot. But however, this summer needs to be good, though, for him. I'm not 100% against getting rid of him this summer. But that fully depends on the signings this summer. I hear you, man. Me, personally, I was willing to give Slot... I mean, most of us in the chat, there's a few of us Liverpool fans. Peter's a Liverpool fan. Natasha, that was here a little bit earlier, she's a Liverpool fan. Yeah, we're all Slot out. Me personally, Peter was somebody, he wasn't Slot out towards... He's only been Slot out fairly recently-ish. Me personally, I was done in beginning of December. During that spell of nine defeats in 12. And when I saw Nottingham Forest come to Anfield and just obliterate us. And bearing in mind, Nottingham Forest were 18th at the time. And they absolutely destroyed us. Should have been 5-0. And then I thought, okay, it's done here. It's got to go. And then 3 days later, PSV Eindhoven come from the Dutch League, Champions League, destroy us 4-1 at Anfield. I was like, no, this is it. It's done. There's no coming back from it. No coming back. Nico said, if it's bad though, oh, you're continuing on about the summer signing. If it's bad though, and we play bad and how we did this season, just get him out. It's as simple as that. I feel like he has lost the charisma of the team, kinda. Yeah, 100%. And I kind of liked Arne Slot when he came in. I didn't mind his demeanour. I thought he was quite all right. I thought he was quite funny at times. He's not Jurgen Klopp, obviously. Nobody can be Jurgen, but I didn't mind Arne Slot. But after those results I was talking about, that Nottingham Forest game, the PSV game, the 9 defeats in 12, after that, I stopped listening to his press conferences. I can't listen to him anymore. It's done for me. It's broken. Looking on the pitch now, you've got Harvey Elliott. He's about to win the Europa League and he's barely played a game. It must be so sad for these players when you're on loan at a club and you're not wanted and you're like, you must feel like an absolute imposter. Nico says he just doesn't match the role in Liverpool compared to Klopp. Now, obviously, nobody will be Klopp, but just the energy and the passion and the fist bumps Klopp did in the Kop end, like Slot, it just doesn't. I know, man. Do you know something? It's so weird. At the end of every Liverpool game, it's like, that's what I look forward to. Do you know what I mean? Even those ones when Jurgen would walk away and he'd be like walking away and he'd just be like, then he'd just be running back like, yes, yes, yes. It was like cinema, man. It's like Hollywood. It's amazing. Winning does give charisma. It's true, you're right. Because in the first season, Arne Slot was winning game after game and he looked like a man of confidence and he did have charisma. I'll give you that. He did. But this season, it's just dropped off a cliff. It's all of the blaming everybody else and he doesn't own anything. Yeah, I'm done with Arne. I'm 100% done with Arne. But if he somehow stays, which I don't think so, I think he is going to get sacked next week. I think it's gone too far. Nico says, have that energy, man. I don't know, but Slot just doesn't, and then have that energy. I don't know, man. But it'll be interesting through this whole summer. I'm looking so forward to it, to seeing what happens with our players and who we sign. You're right, it is going to be really interesting. He doesn't have that flair nor the fire in his belly. Yeah, I know, man, he doesn't. But you're right, it's going to be, whatever it is, Liverpool is going to be, without doubt, the most interesting club in the summer because, you know, the capacity for change with the manager, the players that we need, you know, Liverpool is definitely going to be all eyes on Liverpool, like to be the most watched club in it. What are they going to do? How do they come back from this? Because all the other teams are settled. Obviously, City's losing Pep, but obviously they're getting in Maresca. But their squad is settled. Arsenal were the best at the moment. They're going to add a couple players here and there, but Liverpool need a lot of work. Peter says he looked like a baddie first season. You're right. You're right. You're right. He did look like he was on top, but now it's defo run its course now. 100% Peter. It's defo run its course. He's got to go. Nico, obviously yourself over in the States, did you hear about the petition? Did you sign it? Yeah, did that kind of news impact and reach the States as well? It was kind of big news over here. Oh, new brother BKL Sport Entertainment Show. Shout out to everyone in the chat, including veterans, Arcade Soldier. Keep up a good work on the channel. Appreciate it, and shout out from the South Bronx. Whoa, wicked man, South Bronx. Brother BKL Contreras, aka Sport Entertainment Guy. Love it, man. I need to check out your channel, bro. Please feel free to drop me a like on the stream, drop me a subscribe, and drop me a private comment so I can come back and remember to check your channel. Hopefully I can give you some support as well, bro. But yeah, I hope the Bronx is treating you well. A place I visited many years ago. Nico says, yeah, I don't know about Pep. It's an interesting situation. Since City still haven't said anything, and I don't know about Ornstein. I don't trust him that much, even though Romano has said that City haven't confirmed anything. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, man. The thing with David Ornstein is that, to be fair to David Ornstein, because he's obviously works for the Athletic, he's got a reputation that he has to back up his facts. It's not like Romano, who could just throw things out there, and if they're wrong, they're wrong. It doesn't matter because he's just a freelance person. But David Ornstein is culpable and has to, and can be held to blame for stuff. So, Unai Emery stepping up to collect the cup. Loved by the players. They love him as well. The Aston Villa players, they love this guy. You look at like Liverpool players, they can barely stand Slot. It's mad. Nico says, I saw the petition. However, I didn't sign anything. Laugh out loud. But I do think having that petition means a lot, and the hierarchy should acknowledge it or something. I'll make you right. I think they'll definitely be taking these things into context, especially. More important, you got the petition, and then you got the Mo Salah Instagram situation. That is, both of these things are massive, and obviously the team falling away this season, all the money we spent. So yeah, it's all part of the melting pot, and it's going to cause a lot of problems for Slot. I just don't see how he survives. If he survives this, well, I think he'll be sacked anyway. Myself and Peter was talking about it last night. I think he'll be sacked come October, November anyway, because this team is not going to perform under him. No chance. Nico says, oh yeah, Salah Insta situation is wild. It's good though that he's doing it. I agree and I disagree. I don't think, when all's said and done, you should always respect your club. But I'm glad that he did do it. I think it's the wrong thing to do though. But I'm glad he did it, if that makes sense, because you're stepping out of line. Back when you're a younger guy, you said you're a young'un, as you say. Back when I was growing up, if a footballer did something dodgy like that, straight away you're fined 2 weeks' wages, out of the squad, come back in a month, go chill out. But now these player power and player influence is different. And now he's kind of put Liverpool in a bit of a bad light. And a lot of the older players don't like it. A lot of the older fans don't like it. But this is the modern era. People have a platform to say what they want to say. And it doesn't make it right, but it is what it is. Aston Villa stepping up now. John McGinn. His trophy celebration was rubbish. He tried to do like the Jordan Henderson shimmy and it just sucked. But they look cool up there. John McGinn, phenomenal this season. He should have been definitely in the contenders for one of the players of the season. He's been brilliant. Peter says, I'm glad he did. Take your point on respect, though. Yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the day, the problem with the post is it brings the club into, not into disrepute, but in the eyes of the world, they just look. They're looking at Liverpool. That Liverpool's in the mud. Look at them. They're all over the shop. In-house fighting, star player leaving, acrimony with the manager and whatnot. Players divided. Players against the manager. It just paints Liverpool in a bad look. But Salah just wants Slot gone, and for the greater good, because he knows what the greater good is, and the greater good for Liverpool is to get rid of Slot, 100%. Nico says, right, he just needs to be gone at this point. If this summer is bad, I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens this summer. I know what you're saying, and I hear you kind of a little bit on the fence. You don't want to completely 2 foot. You know what I mean by 2 foot? You don't want to like slide in and 2 foot on a slot 100%. And I kind of felt that way. And I felt bad when I eventually turned on him. But the point of it is this. I don't know, Nico, who you want for Liverpool to bring in. But let's imagine in the summer, Liverpool bring in Adam Morton from Palace. They maybe bring in another midfielder that's got a bit more legs and a bit more staying power, a bit more physicality in midfield. They bring in, for example, theoretically, Michael Elise, and they bring in, I don't know, Diamande or Barcola. And you gave Slot those 4 players. So Wharton, another central midfielder, Elise and Barcola, for example. Big money. Would you trust Slot with those players? And would he get us challenging the way that we play football now to win the league? That's what I ask you. Hey, Sir Pats, good to see you. Just see you snuck in. How you doing, my bro? I hope you're well. And yeah, you answered the question that I asked. You said no. You are spot on, my man. Absolutely spot on. Lovely to see you again. Please drop a like on the stream. Nico says, I'd take that absolutely. Laugh out loud. Sir Pats, who's just joined, he's from Liverpool himself. The gentleman just above you. He comes from Liverpool. He's a Scouser himself. Still lives in the area, and his answer to my question, Nico, was no. Anyway, Nico says, "I'd take that absolutely." Yeah, you damn right you would. Okay, I don't laugh out loud. I don't know if I'd trust him though. I don't know if I trust him though. We would have to see how they fit in. But if they perform well and we contend, then yeah, I think Slot deserves to stay if we win and contend. And then Peter says he would probably just continue passing sideways. I'll address that first and then come back to Nico, because this is it, isn't it? It's like with Peter says, I want attacking football. This is it, because it's all this slow build up from the back. Keeper to Virgil to Konate to whoever, Frimpong, or not even Frimpong, Curtis Jones playing at right back. It's not even a right back when you've got Frimpong there, and etc. etc. Over to Van Dijk. Over to Kirkes, back, up to Gravenberch, back to the centre-back. So boring. But yeah, we want attacking football. And Nico, I understand what you're saying about if we did have those 4 players and we did contend, I just don't feel he is going to... I just don't think he could get... I don't think he can do the patterns of play. I don't think he can get us getting up the pitch quickly. He's all about that. Let's hold on to the ball and just try and grind out a 1-0 or 2-1 or a 2-0, which we can't do anyway, because he's got Gravenberch and McAllister doesn't work. McAllister's legs are falling off. He needs to be moved on. I love McAllister as a player, but that guy has been rinsed for 5-6 years at the top level. He needs to go. We need someone who can protect the back 4. Nico says, I do too. We have no energy. I feel like, and oh my gosh, Cody Gakpo. I'll pay for this guy to leave this club. Please, man, get Gakpo out. So Pat says, I'm not one for changing managers as it unstables the team, and teams in general need to mature. But you'd have to have nerves of steel to support keeping Slot. Well said, Sir Pat. Well said. And it's the thing, don't get me wrong. I think that it's such a weird thing because of the way the first season went so well and the way this season's fallen apart. The way it just fell apart so quickly at the start of the season when he started to implement these ideas off the back of last season. That's the problem. It's not, and as we know, it's not just this season. It was the back end of last season. So it's not just 1 year. It's like 18, 19 months of gradual regression. and now we're down near we're down in the pits. I mean, our pits might be 4th and 5th, but for Liverpool and the squad and the players, that's the pits. Nico says, I agree. I don't think he would be capable of doing it. It would just have to see if we win and contend, if we play the heavy metal football we know we can play. I know what you mean. It's like in a way you want him to have that one last chance to kind of succeed, and maybe he could. My problem is I just want to change because I just don't want to waste another season, because I just feel, and like a lot of fans in England, we just feel that if he stays, we'd have accepted a set. Oh, you're changing that. I just feel like we're just going to start the season. We could start with a few wins. We'll have a few defeats. And then by October, November, we'll be out of the title picture. And it'll be the end of the season. And all we've got left playing for is Champions League again. Not to win it. And then just to play for 4th, 5th place again. Just pointless. Yeah, so Pat, put your message back in that you was going to put. Obviously, I think you had a typo there. Peter says, we do have several excellent players. Oh, yeah, 100%. Got some absolutely phenomenal players. But we need to find a way to unlock Wirtz. We need to find a way to unlock Isak. Get him fit, keep him fit on the pitch, and unlock him. And that's what Slot's hanging on for. He's saying that we need those wingers, pacey wingers. But the thing that Slot doesn't recognise, right, guys, is that all these teams are playing a low block against us. So in some ways, what's a pacey winger going to do? A pacey winger cannot unlock a low block. You need players of technique, players of ability. So that's why you need a player like your Elise or a Barcola, a player with a trick. Yeah, someone who's got great pace, fine. But you need someone that's got technical ability, like, Kvaratskhelia at PSG. You need somebody that can unlock a low block when these teams are defending so deep against Liverpool. So Pat says, sorry, let me come back to that. Nico says, right, I agree. I think we just need to change him. Yeah. So Pat says we'd have accepted a bedding in period, but we'd have expected to progress as the season moved on. But we've got worse, and that's the indicator, and that's something is not right. 100%. And at the end of the day, people keep saying, well, what happens if you didn't win those first 5 games this season? Well, obviously we did. But let's say, for example, even if we didn't win those first 5, because they were all last-minute jobs, etc., let's say we'd have won 2, lost 2, and drawn 1. We still, at this point, wouldn't be in a Champions League position. So those first 5 games, they literally saved the season. And a lot of that was luck as well. So if he'd have just continued from there, or like you said, the bedding in period had been up to, say, like, once we got over those 9 defeats in 12, if we'd have just seen form change and a better brand of football or just more attacking play, I think us Liverpool fans, we would have accepted it. I certainly would have. I wouldn't want him out. I'd be like, okay, fine. I'll let you go again. As long as we're playing good football, give us something to hang our hats on. But when you're playing this football, which is just turgid, boring, slow, it's not even functional. That's the thing. I like to say it's mechanical and functional, but mechanical and functional means something is working. And our football doesn't work. So, yeah, it's shocking state of affairs, really. Really, really bad. But yeah, well done to Villa tonight. It's phenomenal achievement. Unai Emery is absolutely beaming. He's giving it all the fist pumps. He's so happy. Got to respect. He's such a top manager, this guy. Absolutely incredible. The smile on his face is so genuine. His smile that I'm looking at, I didn't even see that smile on Arne Slot's face when he won the league. Like, Unai Emery looks like he's won the Premier League and the Champions League in one. He's so happy. I think it's because he feels like he's achieved a massive step in England, you know? But yeah, incredible. Nico says, spot on, man. Well, I've got to head out and do some things. Considering you're in the UK, it's late for you. So have a good rest of your night, man. Great chatting with you, and I'll be back in the future. Thank you, Nico. Lovely to meet you, and I hope to see you again soon. You take care and have a fantastic day, and stay safe. Thanks, man. Take care. Peter says you could hear on the radio the noise coming from the Villa fans. Yeah, well, obviously I've got a little bit of noise. I've got it quite low in my earphones, but yeah, like they were giving it some. They're so chuffed, and it's a great set of fans, Villa. They've been through some dark times in recent times. Do you know what I mean? Imagine a great club like that being relegated a few years back. Just seems crazy that they could go down. But yeah, phenomenal club really, and I think in some ways us Liverpool fans we don't mind them so much because we always do well against Villa, apart from obviously this season and that 7-2 a few years back. Filled the players with adrenaline, exactly. And that's the thing as well. You hear about the Anfield atmosphere and what it is. And I've been to Anfield a fair few times, and sometimes you just think, it's a little bit of a myth sometimes, the atmosphere. But you can't even, obviously this season, you can't even blame our support, because what have we got to shout about? The football. We've gone from watching champagne football. I mean, Liverpool's always played good football. Throughout all our lifetime. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's pass and move or however you want to put it. Obviously, a few dodgy times under Rafa, and obviously that 5 months under Hodgson, which we delete from our memories. But we always played good football, and this year, what Arne Slot served up this year, that's just so unforgivable. It's just like, do you know what's the real crime? When I tell you something. When I knew the jig was up, when I truly knew the jig was up, was when I was watching Ruben Amorim's Man United struggling in the first half of the season, but kind of showing a few shoots of recovery. And I was like, do you know something? Ruben Amorim is playing this 3-4-3 system. Man United are getting slapped off the park, winning a game, slapped off the park, but they're more entertaining to watch than Liverpool. And that's when I knew Arne Slot had to go. So Pat says the Villa manager, he failed at Arsenal, but he has experience with the Prem now. We won't get him, but he would do well. Oh yeah, exactly. So Pat, he would do phenomenal. He's an excellent manager, and I really like his energy as well. You take away the Spanish accent and the whole Spanish waiter, all that kind of crap they used to give him. But he's like an English manager. Do you know what I mean? He's got that spirit about him. Peter says, you have to play exciting, fast football or the crowd gets annoyed. The crowd knows what good footy looks like. Exactly. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. When you're watching all of these programs, whether it's the media, the pundits, the ex-players, they'll always say the same thing. The Liverpool crowd, the Liverpool fan base support is knowledgeable. They know what it takes. They know what good football is. How can you have the players we've had in our storied past and have a manager now that's serving up this absolute slop? It is just so annoying. It's so annoying. And that's the thing with Liverpool. Obviously, you two both originate from Liverpool. So it's like there's not many teams that can have the gravitas and the pull down the years where they could attract a boy from London to be a diehard fan. Do you know what I mean? And it's like teams like Liverpool, Man United, they can do that. In this country, the only two that can do it. Of course, you're going to get your little pockets of fans here and everywhere. You're going to get the odd Arsenal fan in Newcastle, but they're usually because they've got a London route or they were from there or something. But Liverpool, Man U are the only two teams where you're really, truly going to get a mass population, I'm using the wrong word there, but you're going to get a high amount of fans that are not from the local area. Do you know what I mean? So, there were so many times, until I actually went to Anfield, I said to myself, I can't even call myself a Liverpool fan until I've been there. Because it was like that little bit of, well, you're not from there. Do you know what I mean? But, yeah, it's just one of those things. National. Exactly. National. Yeah, exactly. I'm just getting tired. It's such an easy word to find. But, yeah, on a national level, like the pull of Liverpool and Man United, it's off the charts. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. You were just helping me out there. I was dying a death. I'm usually I'm a spot on linguist normally, but this whole YouTube thing and looking around and looking at the screen and following the football and remembering everyone's names and the chats and all that sort of stuff, it's a lot harder than it seems, put it that way. But I suppose it gets easier over time. But it's very enjoyable chatting to people. That guy Nico from California, you two, absolutely phenomenal guys. Natasha, that was in earlier. Yeah, it's just so nice to actually connect with people. Especially, I'm loving the fact of people of a certain vintage as well. Do you know what I mean? Coming from a certain era, etc. You know, us guys growing up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, etc. And it's really nice. It does take a lot of energy, and I'll tell you something as well. My throat has been hurting a bit, but I'm taking a few days off because there's no games to cover. I don't want to cover like just any old game. I want to do games I enjoy. So Pat says, mate, yep, they are both global brands, but I think supporters from distance have more gravitas. Yeah, in a way, because what you're saying as well is that the fans that are coming from a certain distance, especially now that ticket prices are through the roof, people are coming and spending £600-700 for a game at Anfield for the basic hospitality special treatment, which is like a crappy little buffet and a few drinks, and you might get to shake the hand of a player. And you know, I've got friends that have done it. I mean, I've got plenty of tickets, and I've been in the Cop, and I've been in the Addy Road end and the main stand, etc. And you know, but I've only ever played like face value. But you know, it's the fans from abroad or, you know, national level that are travelling in from miles away, and they're spending big dough. Peter says, LA, the Bronx in the house. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's mad. Yeah, it's really nice. Oh, mate, the hospitality. I mean, like, my best friend has been and done the hospitality through his company. Plus as well, I've got a picture. I need to put it up there. So, because my friend used to work for Standard Chartered, and obviously when we won the Champions League in 2019, in the offices they had the Champions League trophy. So he called me. He's like, "Ads, come down. We've got the Champions League trophy." I was like, "What?" So I've got my Liverpool shirt on. I was like, down to Old Street, because it's kind of in that area. Standard Chartered, the building. So I went in there. I got taken through by security and whatnot. And they had a small selection, and my friend snuck me in. And I got to hold the Champions League trophy. I've got my photo somewhere. I've got it on my phone somewhere. So I'll post it on one of the comments page one time. But it's weird because I'm hoping Arsenal don't win the Champions League, so I can say that I've held the Champions League, unlike you lot. So, but yeah, the hospitality review. Anyway, my other friend, he's been and done the hospitality there, and it's obviously all right. But for your money, what you pay for, it is awful. The hospitality is absolutely shocking for the amount you pay, is what I mean. Yeah, but yeah, interesting stuff. You would need binoculars in that Annie Road extension. I hear that. But that's the thing, though. It's like, I don't know what it's like now that it's got the extra 10,000. But yeah, it's like, yeah, the price of the tickets now, they're scandalous. So Pat says, if Arsenal beat PSG, I'll plat flog. Hey, you lost me there. You'll play fog? You'll plat flog? Imagine coming all the way around the world and being stuck up there. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, mad. But this is the thing as well. It's like a lot of these, and that's the thing. And that's another thing as well regarding the whole slot situation. I think to myself, well, guys, you've both been to Anfield at your times, and obviously there's different times of your lives where we can all afford a bit more and whatnot. Imagine if your first game at Anfield had been this season in that Aston Villa Carabao Cup game, because you know a lot of people, they go to a Carabao game because it's easier to get the tickets, it's cheaper, it's available. So when I saw that lineup and what Arne Slot played, and I thought, you sacrificed this cup with that lineup you put out. You know, the only time they gave that young boy, the Scottish right back, who slips my mind right now, and and we obviously got destroyed by the game where Leone done his ACL, and he was looking very good, by the way. And the Slot just gave the cup away. All them fans that turned up from either around the world or from the rest of the UK to take up the allocation that a lot of the local Liverpool fans wouldn't have wanted, because it was a Carabao Cup game midweek as well. And yeah, that game was diabolical. And the way Slot just threw that away, I was like, no, this guy's taking the absolute pee. Calvin Ramsey, yeah, exactly. I'm probably losing my memory. This whole streaming thing has got to be, but exactly, Calvin Ramsey. And he had a decent little game, Calvin Ramsey. And then since then, we haven't seen him since. Now, maybe he's not good enough. But I don't understand that at some point this season, that a Liverpool first teamer that is actually in the Liverpool squad, we need a right back. Frimpong injured, Bradley sadly out. Obviously, Salah was injured, so okay, Frimpong, you want to play on the right wing, okay, fine. Poor planning from us, we don't have a Salah backup. But how does Calvin Ramsey not get a game instead of putting Curtis Jones at right back or taking Szoboszlai out of his best position? It's all that. And right back is obviously important, but give the lad a chance. Give him a game. Just one game. So Pat says, my mate from Liverpool came from Australia. Came home from Australia. My mate from Liverpool came home from Australia. Okay. I nearly had to sell a kidney to get 2 tickets in the Annie Road end up in the gods for $250 for 2 tickets. Was that $250 for 2 tickets? I mean, it's scandalous, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely diabolical. But yeah, so the view up there in the new extension is bad, yeah? For 2. Shocking. And that's the thing, St. Pat's, like yesterday, Peter was telling me that, you know, his relative used to be able to pay for his season ticket off his YTS. But this is the world we live in now. Do you know what I mean? Just, you know. It's shocking stuff, really. It's sad. It's really sad. But this is the problem as well. And it's not to put down our American cousins or whatnot, but it's the Americanization of the sport. You know, 14 of the 20 Premier League teams are owned by Americans, and they know how to extract every single penny, every dollar, every pound out of a club. And the prices are only going one way. So Rob Jones was bought from Crewe and given a chance. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Imagine someone giving Rob Jones a chance now. They'd laugh you out the door. I mean, obviously, Rob Jones is obviously going to be better than Calvin Ramsey. I know what you're trying to say, but the fact we haven't even seen this kid have a chance. And I could understand if we still had, you know, Trent or a fully fit Joe Gomez or whatever, or a Frimpong, whatever. But we've had no right back at times. No right back. And you've got a right back, and this guy's slot is playing anybody but Calvin Ramsey. Like, there's times when Joe Gomez wasn't available, and you've still got Calvin Ramsey there, but you'd still rather take Szoboszlai out of midfield, or Curtis Jones, who you've obviously got a problem with, out of midfield, and put him at right back. It's just criminal, really. Just give a kid a chance. He just can't be that bad. It just can't be that bad. I refuse to believe he's that bad, especially on the weight of he actually looked okay against that against that Palace team that came and blew us off the park at Anfield. And that was Aston Villa. That was Crystal Palace's first team that came and bopped us off the park. And Calvin Ramsey had a decent game. He didn't really put a foot wrong, and the goals didn't come from his side either. They were more centrally. So yeah, it's a real shame. Exactly. Taking Dom from the midfield and playing him at right back, even though he's done an okay, and that's the thing as well. I'd like to say he's done an okay job, Szoboszlai. But there's always a couple of times in the games where he'll make a mistake, put a foot wrong, and a lot of the time the goal would come from the second phase after Szoboszlai has made a mistake or given the ball away at right back, and then the goal comes from there. So it doesn't work anyway. So you could have just played Calvin Ramsey. I'd just actually seen. Unless this kid is that shocking in training that he thinks, no, I can't do it. But I don't know. Some managers just don't trust youth. And Calvin Ramsey, obviously, he's not young, but, you know, he's only 22, 23. You know, give him one game, just one game. So, Pat, I'll see you later, my man. I will see you Sunday. Look forward to it. You take care. Have a good night. I'll be wrapping up soon myself anyway. So, but yeah, you take care. Have a lovely rest of your week, and I'll see you Sunday. But yeah, very disappointing. But hopefully, Peter, I know you're not the most strongest, most vociferous person to hound a man out of his job. But yeah, hopefully we'll get that changed and we can see the green shoots of recovery. Natasha, welcome back, my dear. She says, when I was young, I went to Anfield to watch a game, and afterwards you could go upstairs to the bar where the players were. I once went to White Hart Lane with my dad to watch Spurs against Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Different times. Different times. And how was it back then? Were the players okay? Were they nice? Obviously you were young yourself. And well, and Natasha says, I remember seeing Russ Abbott and Russ Abbott, and Alf Garnett. Wow, those are those TV comedy gold programs. That's mad. Russ Abbott was in the Tottenham. Was it in the Tottenham end? Yeah, the Tottenham Stadium, or obviously White Hart Lane. Yeah, that's mad. Good stories. I was like Natasha. I don't know if you was in yesterday, but I was at that point. But I was telling the story of because I grew up quite close to. It's funny, isn't it? I grew up quite close to Highbury when I was growing up, and on Thursday you could just walk into Highbury. It's completely open. You could walk in there at night. You could walk into the pitch through the back. It was always open through the Ashburton Grove area, literally opposite where the Emirates is now. There was a back entrance. You could walk into the old Highbury and you could just sit on the pitch at night. It's just so weird. Like, the stadium was open. Like, people just go and sabotage the pitch if they wanted. But obviously people didn't do crazy things like that. But yeah, you could just go turn up on a Thursday, just walk in there, watch the Arsenal first team train, see all players, your Winterburn and David O'Leary and Rocastle and all these guys just training. As a kid, it was crazy. Klinsmann did play for Spurs, so you got to see Jurgen, yeah? Jurgen Klinsmann, the original Jurgen. Highbury was a beautiful stadium. So sad I never saw it in real life. Oh, it was lovely. It was so old school. It was iconic. What's really nice is that the pitch is still there now. But what you have to do is, I haven't seen the pitch since because they knocked it all down. They made flats. But if you go into the flats and inside the communal area of the flats, the pitch is still there or the grass is still there. But yeah, Highbury was amazing. And they still got kind of the iconic brickwork. So when you're coming down, it's a Blackstock Road. It's a famous part of that area of London. I grew up quite close there. You could and Natasha will know it because she lived in London as well. But if you go down Blackstock Road and you get to a certain point up towards Highbury Corner, you can look down one of the side roads, Gillespie Road, and the following one you could see the marble of Arsenal Stadium. It's really cool, really cool. But that was like me when I first went to Liverpool that first time, and I went to Anfield. And I mean, I tell you what though, I couldn't believe, this was before obviously FSG knocked it all down and bought up all the houses. I couldn't believe how run down the streets directly around Anfield were. I was blown away. It actually really saddened me. I couldn't believe it. And I hope those people have, they really benefited from when FSG kind of had to think. I don't know if I think maybe a lot of families got forced out, but I just couldn't believe it really. I just couldn't believe the state of some of the houses and how it was, and I thought, wow, it's just crazy. But that's real life, and I guess that's how London around Highbury would have been in about the 50s and 60s. It would have been quite similar to how Liverpool was around Anfield at the time. Is what the point I was trying to make. It really didn't, Peter. It really didn't. And Peter says he loves old architecture. Oh yeah, 100%. It is beautiful, isn't it? That's why there's so many parts of London that are so nice. But I couldn't believe Anfield. When I walked around the stadium, I couldn't believe it. Not Anfield Stadium, but obviously, the housing around Anfield. I was blown away. So. Yeah, I'm glad that it's in a healthier state now, when they put it that way. So, little terrace houses, yeah, exactly, so small and bunched up together. And that's the thing. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's like when you can see the degradation of the buildings and whatnot, and some of the houses looked like they were going to fall down. Do you know what I mean? Some of the houses looked like they were about to collapse and fall in. It was just so bad. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And sometimes in a way, I mean, I grew up in a quite impoverished part of London myself. Natasha will know it well. From Hackney, I am originally, and there was a lot of poverty around that way. And sometimes that's what gives people the most substance. And in a way, I've never been someone that's really kind of coveted and wanted loads of money, because money kind of ruins everything and everyone eventually. So in some ways, I'm glad that I never kind of ended up having loads of money in life, because what you'd find is that you'd end up, you know, if you have children get spoiled and all that sort of stuff, or there'll be problems and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, I'm quite glad that things were quite stable in my world financially, without them being too extreme or too low. Peter says expansion of the ground in mind, letting them fall into the... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it, you know. But it is what it is. Times have changed now and things have moved on. And yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Take those off. Don't need those anymore. On that note, guys, I'm gonna call it a night now. It's been a long old stream, and I'm feeling very tired now, very jaded. But been absolutely wonderful speaking to you both. Absolute pleasure to have you on the channel, and I look forward to our next interactions and hopefully many more. So I'm gonna take a break for a good few days. Honestly, I need to give my voice a rest. I talk too much anyway in normal life. But yeah, hopefully I'll catch you on Sunday for the big final day of the season. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, the big send-off for Mo Salah. Will he play? Robbo gets a nice standing ovation. And will Alisson be looking around saying his goodbyes as well? Chiesa and all these guys. So hopefully we could end the season with a win. And yeah, just turn the lights off on this depressing football season for us. But yeah, Natasha and Peter... Cameron, you're still there as well. Thank you for following once again in the stream. Absolute pleasure as usual. And yeah, I'm going to wrap up my stream now and I'll say good night. Peter says, cheerio. Thanks for the watch along. Enjoy your time off. Everything will be sweet at Anfield. Positive E, good man. Natasha says, yes, it was like that for my dad. He has followed Liverpool all his life and he was born and bred in Liverpool. So he's from a large family of 19 children. Wow. And he has followed Liverpool all his life. Your dad is a legend, Natasha. But yeah, so on that lovely note, two lovely messages, I'll bid you both good night and I'll see you next time. So for the benefit of the stream, I will say that we've had a really good stream tonight. Lots of good chats, new friends, new people coming in, good talks, following the footy, of which Aston Villa have destroyed Freiburg 3-0 in the final. And they've lifted their first trophy in 30 years, winning the Europa League. Unai Emery has done it again. He is literally the king of this competition. And now we're going to move on to the final weekend of the Premier League season, where I'll be back for another live stream watch along. So if anyone does watch this back or sees aspects of it on YouTube clips or anything, could you please drop a like on the video, drop any comments you have, and subscribe to the channel. So thanks again, guys. Thank you for being with me. My name is Ade, the veteran arcade soldier, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you. Take care. Good night and look after yourself.